Hello and welcome to our Dale's Sunday game. We are currently on session 17, and this audio recording or video recording is actually starting in the middle of us starting it. Took me a little bit to get all the audio issues fixed, so we're going to go ahead and hop right in and enjoy your time here. Thank you very much.
Um, and a bunch of the goods are deposited here. But the caravan keeps going and ends up in Shadowdale. Shadowdale is famous. It's a town of 500 people, of which roughly 10% of the population or something, no, more like 1%. But anyway, a significant portion of the population are extremely famous, very powerful, almost epic level adventurers, including Elminster himself, most famous wizard in the world. What is it about? Why do you stop traveling at Shadowdale? Why do you get off the train here?
I would say simply because of that, because people like Elminster are there. There's obviously something going on.
Excellent. Excellent. All
And I
right.
have some fun.
You find yourself the best pub that maybe you've ever been to. It's called the Dwarven Social Club. It's a place where they serve your holy spirits actually. But it's a place where we can learn trades, where men can come together to have a whinge about women, where dwarves can whinge about elves, and toss some axes and play some board games and get drunk and forge some weapons. They literally have a forge right there in the bar, and literally anyone can come and use it as long as they're members of the club. Does this kind of social club sound like somewhere you'd like to hang out sometimes?
Oh, for sure.
Brilliant.
Right up my alley, you know?
Absolutely. And you're more than welcome to stay here. So it's here in the social club that you likely either hear about the party or meet with the party, but we'll get to that momentarily. So thank you for that. That was exactly what I'm after. So that was great introduction. All right. So moving on to Rivenous Merc, you've just seen like how I love these montages to work. I hope it was a great demonstration. I hope that we now feel like we've got a character that's invested in the setting, that we have some concept of their ideals, their personality, and so on. So we move on to Rivenous Merc. Rivenous, what about your family? Before you were ever born, you're a half elf, right? Is it a half drow? If there's things about your background that you'd like to skip over, that's okay. But I personally would prefer if it's all out in the open for the players, but not for the characters.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. I wasn't sure if we wanted to go that way or not.
That's what I would prefer. Yeah.
So I will give you guys, because I actually have kind of written like way too much in my head for my character. I will give you kind of what the character knows of himself. So,
yes.
Rivenous, okay, you said Waterdeep's very far away, which is fine.
So is Mirabar, yeah.
He's going to come, if you can kind of ping on the map, a town that's going towards where we're at now, but is a little bit from Waterdeep. That's where Rivenous, we're going to say, is from, a medium-sized town, somewhere that would have an orphanage.
Sure.
Because that is unfortunately where Rivenous comes from.
All right.
Rivenous was, as far as he knows, unwanted from the minute he was born. Raised in an orphanage, he is half drow, so he unfortunately was extremely drow, almost pure drow. And there, the head mistress, who obviously hates drow, as most of the people in this world do, told him he is nothing but scum. He is merc. He is nothing. And so that is the life he led for the first, 10 years of his life in this orphanage, learning that, drow are nothing but evil, and thus he is nothing but evil, and getting beatings every day from pretty much everybody in the school. Until one day, his blood boiled so much that a divine power woke within him, and he learned that he had power to himself. He kept it a secret, but he healed his wounds, And eventually, when he was old enough, he left to find his own way.
All right. So this divine power, how did it come about? Why did the divine entity select you when they could have selected anyone?
Well, it was already in his blood.
Excellent.
That's all he knows is that he was, as he was reaching maturity, I would say, about, let's say like physicality of an 18-year-old, so about to leave the orphanage. These other kids who have bullied him his whole life literally beat him within a second of death. And it was in that second of death that his pain and rage boiled within him and blew out of him in a divine light and healed his wounds miraculously, and his sorcerer powers were born.
Very good. Did you hurt these bullies, whether by design or chance?
Unfortunately, so. He did lash out at that moment as he stood up, healed, and felt a power within him that he's never felt before. And he took out 4 of them. They didn't die. No, he didn't.
Okay.
They didn't die. But I mean, they laid there in a state almost of catatonic, death nearly, because they were just. He blew them away, basically.
Absolutely. Are you now a wanted man in Succumber or Loudwater, or where you're from?
No, luckily, he fled instantly to the east because he had been told many times that there was nothing for him to the west. So as he fled, he chanced upon another group of adventurers, and they took him in. They understood there was something special about this young drow, and they looked past his looks. And luckily, there was another sorcerer in the party, and there was a wizard, and it was a pretty standard adventuring group, a bard and a warrior. And they kind of taught him how to harness his abilities and help him see that there's another path beyond what he is. And so one of the first things that he learned was how to disguise himself. And he took on the pure elf. And there he learned that even if he is this scum of the earth, this merc, that he would make a better calling for himself. And so he became a basic adventurer, trying to see what the world holds for him.
Cool.
He kind of went out and took bounties and took down bad guys and learned that, there are shades to gray to the world and nothing is just black and white.
Cool. So tell us about this adventuring party, specifically 2 things. What was their name? Maybe their heraldry, if you can think of that. And what was their purpose? Why were they adventuring in the first place?
They were the Troll Skull Troop. As Brilliant. One of the first things that they had destroyed was a troll.
Excellent.
And they were pretty much a bunch of outcast numbskulls themselves who fell in with each other and found friendship and love of, the fight, the thrill of the hunt. And being misfits and outcasts, they took in Rivenus and allowed him to be part of the group.
So why did you leave them? If, it sounds like they treated you like family, why leave?
Well, unfortunately, as they've been making their way this long journey east, things don't always go as the way they are planned. The party all fell, and Rivenus was the last one standing, and that voice that's always been in the back of his head called out to him as he lay near death, and an otherworldly being offered him a chance at more power. He offered him a pact.
So you've already got this innate magic that has awoken within you, but now as you're on death's door, a mysterious entity gives you another chance?
Yes, an offer at a greater power to make a pact, and Rivenus took it to save himself.
Are you in the desert at that time? Are you crossing the terrible Anarok Desert? Is that where your party perishes? Or is
Actually, that's funny enough. That is exactly where he fell. The party at level 4, basically, everyone passed, and Rivenus was the last one. One hit from death, and he was spared because he hid under his friend's body. And that is why he lay there looking up into the desert night sky. He heard a whisper on the wind. and the stars almost formed words in the sky, and he heard this other voice, and he basically sold his soul. He took a pact.
Brilliant. Do you know who you sold your soul to?
It is the Hexblade.
Brilliant. That's really good, actually. That's good because and Anarok is the place for it to happen. This entity that you know as the Hexblade is part of a it's part of an established culture, I suppose, or event or faction or something that has ties to the Anarok Desert. So again, that works out perfectly well. Um, about those things that killed your party and effectively killed you, were you also attacked by Badine raiders, or was it something more esoteric like a sand dragon, or something else? Or was it just the fucking desert that wiped your party out?
Well, the desert did take its toll. My group not being the smartest of parties, everyone was kind of lacking intelligence a little bit. Didn't prepare very well. They didn't realize the distance of the desert. So after a few days in, we were already weakened. And uh, actually, funny enough, it was a sand desert dragon that took us out. We had faced a young wormling before. We had thought we were a strong enough party to take on such a foe, but in our weakened state and with its natural advantages, it overwhelmed us, looking to take the trinkets and gold that we had upon us.
All right, very cool, very cool. So it wasn't so much after the meat and blood, as precious as they are. It was just after dragon shit. Just wanted more treasure. Is that am I understanding it correctly?
Well, unfortunately, he dragged off one of our party members. I cannot say if they were eaten or worse.
Yeah, or worse. That's a frightful thought that there is a fate worse than being devoured by a dragon. But in Anarok Desert, there absolutely is. It's a place of mutations. The Anarok Desert. It's a magical desert. You see, it's not. It didn't become this great wasteland through environmental factors, but rather through a magical war that ended about 1,000 years ago or more with the collapse of the most powerful human civilization that ever was, the people of Netheril. Wizards so powerful that they could carve mountains apart, to switch them upside down and fly around on them, and they did it pretty regularly. But such was the enemy that they chose, somewhere beneath the sands, that that even the people of Netheril couldn't stop it. And it's interesting again because this same entity, whoever they are, that caused the fall of Netheril so many 1,000 years ago or more, is also the enemy of the Hexblade, of your of the patron that has embraced you. And while they're not like, oh, go out and do this for me and stop them, Hexblade doesn't work like that at all. It's got a much longer term view. It knows that you will eventually walk that path. It doesn't need to tell you to do something because it lives outside of space and time. And so it knows the future, and it knows that at some stage you will be the vessel of revenge or of retribution that will right the wrongs of prehistoric times. But that's not something you need to worry about, either as a player or as a character. Your character likely doesn't know anything about it, and again as a player, it's kind of irrelevant because it'll either happen or it won't. So, you cross through the desert. You've been defeated by a dragon. You've probably lost just about everything. Maybe you have some precious jewels or something that accounts for the fact that you start the campaign with an X amount of money, and maybe that's in the form of gems that you've smuggled and have survived. You cross the desert and you reach the aforementioned sand fort that we were talking about. Not actually a fort, more of a trading post, a slave house, and so on. You're just one person. You probably don't have to pay any taxes, but that said, it's very difficult to get by it unless you do one of two things. Either avoid them and deceive them and somehow make for the mountain pass, or you don't take the mountain pass and you go through a forest filled with werewolves and wicked fairies. Which of those, or something else, do you do?
I've probably seen the Zentarum along this trading path.
Yeah.
Because I'm just aware of it. I'm on their main pathway. So I would probably use my magic to disguise self and use deception to basically say I'm part of the Zentarum and just try to pass through the fort very peacefully and make my way to where my party was ultimately heading, which was new adventures in a land that we've heard of called the Dells.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. So you basically appeal to the Zentaran's better nature. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would just try to blend in and pass through.
Ah, indeed, indeed. And who better to do such a thing? You know, did you have to like murder a dude to take his face, or do you just mimic their clothing and hope that since there's 200 soldiers, the commanders don't know the face of every single person?
Definitely would just mimic clothing and put on generic face of Soldier B and
Yeah.
kind of just like, yep, I'm Steve today.
Brilliant. And in the end, your face doesn't even matter anyway, because being in a desert, we mostly cover our face. So we're wearing masks to keep out the sand, and nobody questions your legitimacy, and you slip on past. You are unfortunately harassed by a wyvern as you pass over the mountain range, and I didn't describe it earlier, but now I will. The mountain pass is a switchback, meaning that on one side of you, the right hand side, is the mountain going sheer up to the sky, and on the other side is a cliff, just falls off. You know those videos of fucking Indians and Nepalese people driving buses and they fall off the edge of the cliff? Yeah. Oh man, I've done that, like in Laos. Incredible, terrifying shit. That's the sort of mountain range that this is. A sheer drop off on one side, a sheer mountain on the other side. You're being hunted by a wyvern. How come you're alive?
Luckily, my newfound pact and my newfound powers have helped me kind of to hide.
Yes.
So I kind of went and hid under a rock and a tree and threw out some basic magic, did a little bit of minor illusion to make it look like my shadow darted somewhere else.
All right.
And threw him off my path.
All right. The wyvern is so confused because it can't see where you've gone, but it chases the shadow. There's nothing there. It eventually dives down and thinks that maybe you fell off the cliff, and it goes looking for bones to scavenge. The next thing that you come across is a castle full of goblins. They get around in entourages of roughly 12 bugbears, hobgoblins, and goblins. Do you avoid them as well, or do you somehow have to negotiate your passage?
I'm probably going to have to bribe my way through that. I don't think I'm going to make it very well. But I will actually approach them in my true form as a drow.
Uh-huh.
And I will approach them speaking Undercommon.
All right. They interrogate you and accuse you of being a member of the Zentarum. Apparently not something they like.
Riveness would basically say something along the lines of, Zentarum, huh, you think I ride with those scum? Those scum know nothing of what I am. You see, friends, we could all benefit. And then I would minor illusion again a little bit of some shininess in my hand. And the other hand, I pull out a gold coin. Yeah. And I would say, how much to just proceed, my friends?
Very good. And so they make a demand, probably a relatively modest one of maybe 10 gold pieces or something, but you're able to get past that without paying, are you?
No, I paid the 10 gold.
You pay the 10 gold, so you pay them legitimately. All right, no worries. And they effectively employ you as a subcontractor. That sounds kind of silly, and it kind of is. But these the goblins basically say, look, we don't know much about the outside world. We have some idea, but if you're traveling east, if you ever come back west, we would appreciate it if you told us what's out there, right? So they're not as genial as that. They're a lot more savage, but they basically hire you to go out into the world and to one day return to them with intel.
If that's the case, could I make a persuasion to see if I can get my gold back? Like, if they're not, I'd be like reversing it. Well, if you were going to hire me, then we don't need to exchange the gold now that we are all friends.
Very good. And so you do so, and there's some disagreement among the group. The bugbears think that that's insane. The hobgoblins think that that's perfectly reasonable, and the goblins just do whatever the bugbears and the hobgoblins tell them to. And ultimately, you get by without paying, with getting your money back, but it causes a schism between the goblins themselves. As their disagreement manifests into fist fights. But that's not your problem. You've moved on by then. And you find yourself first in Daggerdale, a town of about 2,000 people. They have cheap horses here, a lot of good livestock. And then through the monster-haunted hills where werewolves and vampires and apparently beholders are even thought to be found, before you eventually find yourselves in Shadowdale, a legendary town known for its powerful magicians and its lush green forest, sitting right at the very edge of the ancient elven forest of Cormanthor. Why don't you settle down here? You've got enough money to rent out a place for a year. Why not just take a break? Or do you take a break?
That actually sounds good. After
Yeah.
losing my friends that I've had for the last 7 years that have taught me so much and weary from my journey, I would plan to probably settle down
Excellent.
and recoup some losses and make some gold.
Very cool. And so you're here for a while, and you've probably been in Shadowdale for a while. You can decide whether it's a month or 5 years. It's entirely up to you. But what do you think? How long do you think you've been here?
I would say I've probably been in town for about a year.
About a year. Very good, very good. The last year, incidentally, was the year of wild magic, and magic was going pretty fucking wild. It's in the name. This is the year of rogue dragons, and dragons have been pretty rogue. To be honest, bit wild themselves. Anyway, you've been here in Shadowdale for about a year. Your coin's starting to run a little bit dry. You know the place pretty well. And an old Shadowdale hero has come through here recently, an elf who apparently used to live here probably before you settled down, and he's made his return has been quite exciting for the general town, and they've just been kicking around investigating the disappearance of missing priests and accompanying caravans on Trojan horse jobs, leading them through the forest to draw out attackers. And they've just gotten back, and a small crisis has evolved. In a town of 500 people, nobody keeps secrets, and so you've probably heard all about this by now. They went up to take back some stolen stock, horses and cattle and the like. But instead of returning with the stock, they've returned with a woman who was apparently kidnapped from this place some time ago. But that's created a controversy of itself because apparently she wasn't kidnapped, apparently she's a traitor, and it's all just one big fucking headache. And that's where we begin. So we've got a dwarf in the Dwarven Social Club. We've got a half drow who is probably like, have you pretended to be an elf this whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't go out because I don't like drow. I think drow are disgusting. That's just my mindset. Anytime I go out into public, I disguise self as basically myself, but looking like an elf. My drow characteristics, my skin and my hair color change.
Excellent. And so for the rest of the party, we're back in town. We've got some decisions to make. We've lost some of our muscle, some of our expertise, and are we like? Maybe we're in the Dwarven Social Club when we start discussing things, or maybe we're in the Old Skull Inn, or what do you think? guys, where might we be when we sit down and try to iron out our crisis of confidence? What are we going to do, guys? Like, do we go back or not? Do we exercise this temple or not?
Yeah. I think we'd be in the in our new inn that we just acquired.
Our fight
that's
pit.
right.
Well, there was a bit of a disturbance in the Force Cause there, if I remember as well.
Indeed, that's a good point. So that's
There's
a good introduction.
That's right.
Adriel is pondering his navel around, the death of horses and violence and the horrors of the real potential of war. But he's a little bit of a way. But I'd be surprised if Adriel's good ears didn't pick up some of the disturbance from the southern part of town. Did someone die? Did someone really scream that out?
And as for the...
I was just going to say, did the Minotaur, did Kage actually kill him? Was that the case?
I accidentally killed him.
And so the two new characters are probably getting a beer at the dive. It's a shit pub. It's the shittest pub by far in probably all the Dales and certainly Shadowdale. But it's a pretty exciting fight going on now. They've got this massive Minotaur. He's like the champion of the local fighting pit. And Shadowdale isn't a place for fighting pits, but there is one. And this Minotaur's been kicking around. He's a relatively decent fellow, all things considered, but a goblin has come out of nowhere and has literally just fucking murdered him, killed him in the ring. And you guys are, maybe you've got like a meat pie in one hand and a beer, or possibly some black barrel whiskey in one hand, black tankard whiskey. And you just watch as it's a pretty good fight. The Minotaur does give a bit, but then he just gets ruined by this goblin.
Rivenus lost a gold piece on the fight. He's been there long enough that he's seen this Minotaur, and he honestly lost. Actually, he lost 2 gold pieces. I'm not going to lie.
Excellent.
You won't be getting it back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm deducting now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And my meat pie is on the ground. Like, my mouth is agape, and the meat pie drops to the ground.
I guess you'd see us try to stop the publican and essentially recoup some of his losses by us owning the pub.
Indeed.
We essentially con him into it.
They shake down the tavern owner and end up with owning a business in response. It's amazing.
Yeah, all the money we bet actually went to the other people who bet on the goblin, and we got the pub. They might have seen us making the deal with was it a dwarf that was selling the ale, and we renewed the contract with them under new management.
Yeah. I guess Eamon would just be in the corner having a look at the books and seeing how bad things really are.
Yeah, good question. And mostly it's a combination of bad management and bad clientele, but they're one of those businesses that thinks that the best way to make money is to cut corners, right? Water down the ale, don't replace the broken furniture, charge people interest on their their loans, and just generally basically take a belligerent attitude towards their customers. So that's the situation that you...
I guess I'd be in the corner just sitting down having an ale and going through all of that, seeing how we can rectify it, and writing in my journal.
Excellent.
If Adriel heard of the disturbance and there were people walking through town and such, and he knew that they were going pit fighting, so he would make his way there to find out what the fuss was about if he overheard enough to investigate.
Yeah, and the rumours are true. Kage killed this Minotaur in, I guess, I'm going to say cold blood, but that's not true. The blood was very hot. It was open combat. There's nothing...
Kage, did you mean to do that, or just get carried away? Are you okay?
I wasn't aware that he had been killed? Is he still standing right there? Because he was still standing after the last 3 hits, right?
Oh right, yeah, no, he just falls down. I thought we took his head off or something, didn't we?
No, I was hitting him, and then it was 3 hits, and he hit me. Then I hit him 12 times in a row. Apparently, the 9th hit knocked him unconscious, but you said he remained standing, and so I hit him the last 3 times, causing 6 failed death saving throws.
That's right. You just did went killer instinct on him, right? And just did a 126 combo strike. Yeah. Brilliant. And by the time he falls, his body is broken, and yeah, so he's very much dead, and we are very much property owners.
Do we have time to do a Revivify?
No way, I'm not spending the only diamond I have on this guy.
We had talked about we are going to build a component to do that in the future, but we hadn't done that yet. That's at the Dwarven Social Club later on. It's too late.
Yeah. So I guess Kage, he's still in his full ninja outfit. He's not dressed as Kage, he's dressed as Zrerg, the pit fighter. Which anyone who takes 2 seconds to look will realize it's the same person, but he does it anyways. So he'd probably be wondering who he needs to talk to about accidentally killing a man.
Yeah, right. That's a good idea. A good thought.
Lord Boldenker loves you.
And also, if we can harvest his parts to better the Dales.
Or why don't
his parts?
Why don't for now we? Yeah. Why don't for now we put him in the refrigerator, the ice machine at the back.
Yeah.
Ice machine.
All right. So, having killed a minotaur, shaken down a dude, and stolen his business, we then stashed the corpse in the freezer. We're the good guys. Great to meet you.
Well, we're not like permanent, just trying to get rid of the body. We're just trying to keep it preserved for a little bit.
There would have been 50 witnesses to this anyway, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
What's another add it to the list, you know?
Indeed. Okay, so now we have to kill all 50 of
them. Kage's got it. No.
I'm onto it. We're going by a cloud kill scroll.
I'm pretty sure I'm faster than all of them. I got 3 hits for each.
There we are in the town. It's although it is a tragedy, and although it is a terrible event, we're not charged for it. You know, it was a legal fight. The Minotaur knew that this could happen. He was fighting with lethal weapons. He was using horns, even if we weren't. So it's any wonder that the Minotaur didn't kill anyone in the past, and so it's a tragic event. But you do get the feeling that maybe we shouldn't hang around in Shadowdale too long. Not that it's just it's just kind of in poor taste for us to keep going and buying our bread and milk at the local shop when we've accidentally killed someone. The guy had friends.
Indeed. So what should we do then?
I think we should cover funerary costs. Is there a...
Why don't we say the bar will cover it once it starts to get back on its feet?
Sure. Well, then we'll keep him in the freezer.
Is is there only the 2 churches, or is there a third that the 2 churches that are shut down, or is there a third that runs funerals if they have to happen?
Yeah, the Church of Shauntea is like a harvest church, a church of agriculture, of fertility. So whether it is that you want to get pregnant or if you just want to grow better crops, then Shauntea is the god of choice, the most popular god in the world. But very few adventurers could care about her at all.
what would be? I guess Kage would want to talk to her personally and see what the cost of a funeral would be.
It was really tragic what happened to that nice minotaur. He wanted to become a farmer, he did. He was going to buy some land up here on the surface and run cattle. That was his big ambition. Such a terrible thing to have happened. You want to pay for the costs of his funeral?
I would.
Well, he deserves a good send-off, I think. 25 pieces of gold will cover all of the... we'll give him a very grand send-off. We'll perform the rites for free, but 25 will pay for a headstone and a plot, and all the incenses and components that will prevent him from being raised from the dead. We will hallow his grave.
All right. Kage immediately he'll give over the money and pay for it himself.
You have a good heart.
Do you mind if I attend as well? I'm a priest.
Delighted.
I trade after all.
Oh, if you could, would you like to say a few words?
I didn't really know him as such. I feel it would weigh heavy on my conscience if I didn't go.
I understand. Well, we'll get the service done as soon as possible. I think tomorrow morning will be appropriate. May Shantia bless your harvests, and may all of your days and nights be fertile.
Thank you, priestess. And may I ask you one more thing while we're here?
I would be delighted.
One of the other temples, is there a problem? An exorcism needs to be conducted or has been conducted in the past?
Yeah, sure. Elrani was a friend of mine. She's a halfling like I am, though we're not related. She was, her goddess was Tamora, the goddess of luck. But too late we found out that she'd been cursed by Bashaba, the goddess of bad luck. Very sad thing. Something went wrong, some magical cataclysm during the year of wild magic. A lot of things went wrong in the year of wild magic. Well, every now and then, her spirit rises. It rises with the new moon. It always comes back, and well, we've some of the local heroes like Storm, Silverhand have been putting the ghost down, putting the spirit down, sending it back, but it won't find its way to the afterlife. It has some unfinished business, but we haven't worked out how to solve that business. Anyway, I think Storm's gotten a little bit tired of dealing with it personally. After all, she knew Elrani. It was her friend, and it weighs heavy on her heart to have to destroy her time and time again. You'd really be helping us out if you'd really be helping us out if you'd really be helping us out if you'd just cleanse the place. You probably can't do it once and for all. You probably can't figure out what it is that she needs. But if you could just banish her for a little while so that she doesn't turn up again until the next moon, well, that would be appreciated.
And you said she's got some unfinished business. Has she given any indication of what that might be?
I don't really know. You see, Tamora's a god of luck, and so for all I know, it might be just a simple, might just be a case of luck that's left her here. There might be a solution, and there might not. I just don't know.
Is she being completely forthright, or is there something that she might know with regards to? She stammered on the point that it would be helping them out.
Yeah, you can make an insight check. Yeah. She seems to think that there is no solution. Like, let's put it this way. If Elminster and Storm Silverhand can't work it out, then you're not going to be able to. So, you know, it'd be nice if if we can't heal the wound, then at least we can put a Band-Aid on it, right? You know, and a Band-Aid is better than just having an open wound.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Priestess.
My pleasure. Now, I don't need to remind you that tax time is coming up, so I hope that when you're ready, you'll be able to tithe 10% of your worth to the church. You know that we'll do only good things with it.
Out of character. Yeah, sure.
No worries.
Of course, when it comes time, we'll see what we can do.
Good harvests.
May the light be with you.
I do want to note that as soon as Kage realized he killed the Minotaur and everything, something very uncharacteristic of him is he stayed in light. He usually tries to slink it through shadows and stuff, but he's staying in the light. If there's a shadow under a tree, he walks around it, because that kill was not for Shar, and he's actually ashamed of it. So party would probably notice that your little shadow gremlin isn't doing shadow shit right now.
Kage, there's nothing that you could have done differently. You're in a fight for your life, you know.
Well, it's
Nature can be brutal. You created that situation. You put yourself in it. You knew the risks. He knew the risks. What came out in the end was the balance.
I suppose.
If that's what you want, that's what you'll get.
Do we notice the two new guys in the inn? We've been here a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do they all think about this goblin just beating the shit out of this Minotaur?
You said one of you guys became kind of the bookie in the corner, right? You're looking over the books, trying to figure out the money situation.
Yeah, another dwarf, actually.
No, that wasn't me.
I'm slinking down doorways, just watching what's going on. A lot of detachment to the craziness of peoples.
But yeah, yes, Eamon's in the corner going over the books and whatnot.
I think Rivenus would approach him and holding out his 2 gold pieces to be like, well, a bet is a bet.
How about this? How about you keep it, friend? Things aren't exactly going to be the same as they were before here. Maybe reinvest it somewhere else, at least for the time.
Duh. For sure.
Do I recognize the accent, knowing that we just had a... Actually, are you Elven or drow at this point?
So he's a Russian drow. Don't ask.
He's not French, so we wouldn't realize.
He's Russian.
Yeah. You're a local around here?
From many, many miles, my friend.
And so you've been here for some time, or are you new to the area?
It has been a minute. I'm actually running low on coin, so your gesture of friendship is most appreciated.
Oh, I've traveled myself. I know how hard it can be sometimes with work and whatever else.
And we are always looking for work, are we not?
Indeed. What is it that you do? What's your trade?
A little of this, a little of that. Mercenary, rivetous muck at your pleasure.
Eamon? Eamon Broadforge, nice to meet you. We've been here a few weeks. We've been traveling ourselves, actually.
I had a small cottage south of town. I've been resting regathering for some time. The coinage has become a little low.
Well, me and my friends, and I'll start pointing out the elf with the fiery hair, the dragonborn, and the goblin covered in, I assume, blood. We've actually just acquired this bar, so if you've got something to add, maybe we can do a bit of business. Or if your skills are what you say they are, with your mercenary work and all that, maybe there's something that we can do for each other.
You see Rivenus's eyes go wide and a thin smile crack his lips as he responds with a simple, "Duh, this could be beautiful."
Kage, Adriel, Colt, come over here and meet this gentleman, Rivenus. I'll call him over.
Kage is actually changing out of his ninja outfit right now, so.
This is Adriel. This is Colt. Colt is a wizard, a magic user, and Adriel's the same, but it's more with fire.
Greetings. That's Vadanya.
You going, Super?
Sorry, I'm reading. I'm trying to figure out what I did with something.
No worries.
Well, I just look around the group and.
Norman, where are you at?
Yeah. I'm in the other pub.
Oh, shit. He's getting drunk by himself.
On the dwarven.
In a different fucking place.
I mean, you can head there. That's where we're staying.
No, that's. No, we're staying at the old skull. Oh, we paid for accommodation in the old skull inn. And we were planning on doing the Dwarven Society later on to have a go at building and playing with some stuff, organise some things being made.
Well, why don't we head there now?
And who's this?
Here.
Who have you found us, Amon? A brave one to stick around after this mess.
This is Ravenous. He's, well, from what he says, a local. He's been around a hot minute. Maybe I propositioned him that we might be able to help each other out with our various needs.
I see. Well, tell me about yourself.
Go with a decent. Let's go talk about it over a decent beer at the Rune Master's place instead of this watered down shit.
As long as we know he hasn't been sent to kill us.
Sent to kill you. You would just kill the minotaur. That would be very foolish.
That's good. You walk in front, all right?
Well, now, Adriel. He's given us no reason to think that he caused us harm, and we are in the middle of a town. It'd be very foolish of him to try something like that. But I agree with the...
Take a joke. You know, it's not that bad. It's not that serious. I am slow to judge people. Well, you know, I judge people by their actions, not their words. So. Well met. Let's go for an hour at the other place if you'd like.
I guess.
Is Kage coming after cleaning the mess?
Yeah, he went to the Old Port Inn, changed back into his regular monk's attire, and would meet y'all guys out there. He wants to go make his sword. I believe Arctic said that he'd have to make his sword at the social club.
Yeah, the social club has what's called a rune forge, and interestingly, the rune forge speaks to Rivenus. The hex blade was originally created on a rune forge, not this one specifically, but they are very rare places, and magical items. You need something like a rune forge in order to create +1 weapons or magical. So Rubenus, when you enter this, you will feel a connection to the rune forge as in the same way as it has a connection to the hexblade. They're all part of a greater network of magical items, I suppose.
I believe that Rivenus would feel that kind of speak into his soul, and for a brief moment, his eyes would flash with almost a glowing purplish blue as he kind of hears the whisper of the power.
Excellent.
And I would definitely be there for multiple reasons. One of them being it's a dwarf bar.
Indeed.
But also, I am in need of better weapons, so that's something that's very interesting.
Indeed.
After my travel in the cut of my my compatriots, I got quite a bit of gold in my pocket.
Well, I understand that some of you are interested in using the rune forge for your own purposes. I'd be happy for you to take advantage of what we've got here. If you want to make a donation to help us sustain the social club, then that would be most welcome. You're under no obligation to do so. But I would be happy to assist you in the manufacturing process of whatever it is that we're just trying to design.
I believe 4 of us are already members, right?
I'm definitely a member.
I thought I'd paid coin to be a member.
I did as well.
Remember. I think I did.
It's pretty minimal, though. It's only $5 gold a year. I mean, if we're making shit on this forge, it'd probably be like to pay him.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. It's not that much I wouldn't have, yes. I'm sure I did. I would have.
Kage will donate an extra 5 gold on top of his already membership thing.
Well,
good. Hail, everyone. Just shout to the room. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to go and check that notice board that he put up, or the notice paper, for dwarven addresses and whatnot. People are interested in this proposition.
Tell us about this proposition again.
Yeah, so it's the essentially Eamon's creating an address book of dwarves, specifically dwarves, to, I guess, find some common interest for bringing the dwarven public or republic back to its former glory. And those interested should put their name and contact details, address, whatever, down and stand by for a meeting or something.
That's not going to be used for anything nefarious, is it?
You don't know.
Yes, you can ask him right now.
It's not. It's well, yeah. I guess you can ask.
This is the one I was talking to you about, Corman. This is the man who put up the notice. Amon, please meet Tormund. He's come a long way, all the way from the lands across the other side of the Anarok Desert.
Yeah, Mirbar.
You've traveled a long way, then.
Oh, that's what I do. Ain't no fun staying in one place for too long.
No, especially when we don't have a home, at least properly. A kingdom.
Mirbar's pretty good at that.
Yeah, so I hear there's a lot of coin floating around nearby. Why would you leave all
that? There's this weird phenomenon that happens when you have a lot of coin. You get fucking bored. You ever been bored?
Hey,
sucks.
I've been bored, and it's true. They say money can't buy happiness. Sometimes, at least.
No, it cannot.
So, what brings you to this delightful part of the world, then?
No, adventure.
And have you found any?
Just kind of moseyed on into town. Nothing too crazy yet. So
you've been here. What?
Always looking for something.
You've been here what? A few weeks?
Not
days?
even a few days.
Well,
here, there's some pretty important people in this here town. There must be something going on.
They must, but to be honest, we're in a bit of a crossroads ourselves at the moment. Anyway, there is trouble with the Zents to the north.
I don't really care for those guys.
Well,
seem kind of shady. No pun intended.
Well, neither do we, as it would happen. But we recently lost some people to them, taken prisoner based solely on our actions. So you could say that we've got interests in this entire.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
if you're looking for another, I'd happily join you.
Sure. What is it that you do?
Well, I'm pretty good at hitting stuff. Need someone that hits stuff?
As a matter of fact, yes, we do. My friends and I here, we were part of a charter, the Song of Fire. You might have heard of us. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
You didn't see my flyer up on the notice board. Got our charter's symbol on it, after all.
I can't say that I have. Sorry, Belle.
Well, you're a dwarf. I happen to be looking for dwarves. You see,
why?
After our kingdom was taken from us, or whatever happened, I know it was years ago now, but we've just been kind of going through the motions, haven't we? No real leadership, no purpose to our race. You know, the elves, they got Mitranor, the humans, they got
all the the dwarves don't have Mitranor, that's for sure.
Elves.
Sorry, elves, yeah. They don't have that either.
No, but we happen to meet someone that's looking to do the very same thing with Mitranor that I'm looking to do with Teliamar, potentially. Albeit they're a lot stronger than I, so I decided to try and recruit dwarves who'd be interested in something like that, coming back to our homeland.
I'm always interested in stuff.
Well, pop your details on the notice board, and by all means, if you're looking for work, maybe we can go about it together. Of course, I'd have to ask the rest of my party.
I can't take all the
hits. Naturally.
There's Kage over there, the little one. There's Ariel, the one with the red fire hair. And the dragon-looking guy is Colt.
Adriel's also dressed in forest greens and dark colours and looks much more like he should be in the woods, not in the buildings of an inn. But a little uncomfortable around in the space of so many people. But Super, were you about to say something? We haven't heard from you. What do you look like? I'm not the only odd one.
I look magnificent. Like all dragons. At least in my own mind. I don't know if everybody else thinks that.
Are you as vain as your
I'm who counts.
god?
No. I'm quite quiet. Certainly not vain. I have got a beard though. Old mate Runemaster is I'll yell out, Eamon, is the mate coming to join us as well? Get 6 pints if that's the case.
As you're yelling this, Rivenus, who had been slinking in the shadows this whole time, comes back holding 7 cups of a fairly decent mead. And who was the one who was a little bit kind of questioning of him? Was that you, Adriel?
Was I joking about walking in front, making sure you went?
Oh, you're the first you're Tinker 2, or the me Tinker 2.
You what? Sorry, you passed me one too.
And then he hands it around. My friends, to new friendships and new beginnings.
Cheers.
Cheers. All to that.
And we'll just sink it.
I'm
Look over
back.
at
Like he bought 7.
look over at Black Tankard, see what he's how quickly he's drinking.
I kind of whispered. It was Adriel, right? Who was kind of talking smack on Rivenus, though.
No, what did he say?
I think he was joking though.
No. I know, but I'm just making sure it was the right character because Rivenus kind of leans over as everyone takes a drink. Don't worry, my friend. Only little poison, yours.
Very good.
Can Kage's poisoner's kit test for poison?
Again, a light smile cracks Rivenus's lips as he says this, with a little bit of a twinkle in his eye.
So it is poison.
Yeah, and he should have done one earlier, but you know, he was feeling lazy. There we go. Good insight.
Oh shit, yeah. There you go.
The best insight.
I feel it is genuine and with a good sense of humor and not actually here to kill us.
Definitely. This was friendship and a little bit of humor for the outright hostility right at the beginning.
All good. Well, mate, the road can be challenging. Sometimes we need to have a black humor about things. I can't believe they killed the Minotaur. That was the best thing about that pub. Right. What are they thinking of?
I didn't mean to.
It is what it is.
It's a testament to how strong he was, or the fact that my ki was flowing through him, keeping him upright, whichever comes first.
There'll be legends about that.
Yeah.
Well, Adriel, it's actually our pub now. It's we've got the right to it. Got the what do you call it? The contract.
The deed?
Yep, we've got the deed.
Wow. So it has been a big day, hasn't it?
And it's been renamed Zrerg's Pub already, or
Zerg's Pit, yeah.
Zerg's Pit, yeah. But Adriel, it must be good for you.
Thank you, the extra
You'll have land in your hometown. How do you feel about that?
Well, thank you, Amon. Yes, I appreciate the consideration. It's not my ambition to own any of this town, but to purely protect it and keep it well. If we can help it be well by providing a pub and hopefully with better entertainment, maybe not so garish, it would make me happy. But if that's what the town needs, I'm happy. We have a pub.
Give the people
a pub.
Everybody likes pubs. It doesn't have to be a complete dive bar anymore. We can zhuzh it up a little.
Precisely. And me and Black Tavern here, dwarves know all about pubs, don't we?
Black Tankard, for sure.
Maybe you two shouldn't be running it, given the rate you're already going through those like pints of mead.
That seems right.
Sounds like that could be a loss. Yeah, there's plenty of stories about dwarfs and their ales.
Obviously, all good. We are the Song of Fire, named after a fallen kin of ours, and we have a shop in the Dales and Daggerdale. Now we have this pub, so maybe we're entrepreneurs of such. Oh, how could I forget
a castle? Yeah.
The ruins of a castle. Yes,
let run down. Yeah, one day.
Oh, that's stretching. Yeah, that's the stretch, but it's a good credibility piece.
We haven't seen what Maynard and team have done with the place. They might be really good at doing stonework.
I bet they are. Fantastic.
Surely not as good as me. But anyway, that's... Is there anything else that we should tell them?
Oh, what? Besides that life on the road is deadly and round every corner we could die, we do have a bunch of enemies. We're trying to do the right...
Is that something unique to this place? Because I don't think it is.
Certainly not unique to the date. Sorry, go.
So your man here at Pullman is a fighter, you said?
Yeah.
You're a fighter, Pullman?
Yeah.
You're hired. Because yeah, I'm not a fighter.
Adriel looks at Super and nods. Is like, yep, that's good.
Eamon and Kage and Adriel can sometimes fight, but I think most of the time they'd rather stay at range. Oh, you know what I mean. You know, you guys float in and out depending on what happens, but you're not tanky tanks.
No, definitely not by any stretch of the imagination. So it would be nice to have some muscle. But what about you, Rivenus? What do you bring to the party?
I bring many things. A little of healing, a little of death. Whatever you need to get the mission done. And then I flicker a little minor illusion in my hand and kind of show like a little bit of magic. Primarily, I cast spell.
And he currently looks like an elf, right? What type of elf? Isn't he disguised as an elf?
I'm disguised as, let's say I would be disguised as a wood elf.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely curious as to what sort of tribe and background you have, because I'm full-blooded wood elf. So he'd be doing a bit of an insight check on you as well and trying to suss out where you're from, what's a possible culture. Imagine the accent would be different.
You would get that I'm definitely hiding something, but no. You can ask me about my dialect, but you would just know it's odd for a wood elf to have that dialect, I would assume.
Strange, your tones. Where is your home?
It is a sad tale. I was not raised with my people. I was orphaned, brought up in an orphanage. Very sad.
Whereabouts was this? I'm surprised they allowed you to be raised in an orphanage. What horror is this? Where did you grow up?
Not too far. About 100, 200 kilometers from Waterdeep. The headmistress always told me I was the special case. But it was, how to say, not the best. Growing.
My pity and apologies for your special case then, and I'm sorry I don't recognize the accent. But you're a great place.
These things are in the past, and life is for the living.
It is. It is for the living. Enjoy it while it lasts. You have to.
Cool. And raises his mead glass.
Cheers. Make sure he cheers properly and spills a little bit in his glass, looks him in the eye, does it the formal way.
Before you even step, Rivenus downs his tankard deeply.
Hey, what, sorry? Say again.
Before you even get it to after we both cheers properly, spill a little bit into each, before you could even bring yours to your lip, I've already drank mine deeply all the way down and finished it.
Okay. Oh, good. Happy days.
Brought up by dwarves.
What's wrong with that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm sensing a lot of anti-dwarfatism here.
Oh no, it's just an observation. I mean, he drinks like dwarf, like fast and lots.
Stereotypes can be dangerous too.
I'll wipe it very. Rivenus wipes it very, abruptly from his lip. Lets out a belch. It's been a while since I've had friends to drink with. Good friends taught me the right way to drink.
Well, before we can, actually, that's it. Well, I think before we can formally offer you an invitation to join us, you'd probably need to know about our skeletons. We
does have skeletons.
Well, literally, there's a minotaur in the fridge. But
I've killed a couple of skeletons. Very good.
That would be yes.
So, yeah, figuratively and literally, yes, we do. We're not exactly on good terms with the Zentarum or Bay Knights at the moment.
Kage spits.
I was going to say, Rivenus spits at the name of the Zentarum.
I just make like a weird face.
Yeah, synchronized spitting.
Eye rolls, audible eye rolls.
On our most recent escapade, we may have had a bit of an issue, stir up a bit of a hornet's nest. And, well, let's just say our business isn't entirely finished at the Cavalier Ranches either.
No, it's not finished. But tomorrow we do another sending, yeah? And try and interpret what it is. The last one was off and unexpected.
I could probably do it today, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah. We've had a good day of break from the last sending, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got two. It says my sheet has 2 level spell slots, so we must have rested at some point. What was this?
Let's finish off the chat with these two first. Yeah.
So, if you were to join,
I'd like to know what sort of. Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, if you were to join the party, of course, you'd share in our spoils, but you'd also share in our unfortunate situation by simply association.
Wouldn't be the first time. And sure as hell won't be the last.
No doubt.
As long as you do know who the Zents are.
Rivenus, could I ask a question? What sort of magic do you use? Are you a wizard? Are you a warlock? Are you a cleric?
Rivenus kind of lightly smiles again and says, my power is innate. I am a sorcerer.
Okay.
And then he, instead of showing a what you would normally assume to be a sorcerer, like a kind of wild magic or a dragon filling magic, you see a white light arise a little bit from his hands, and you feel a radiance coming off of him. It's different. It would be almost divine.
Is it similar to yours, Eamon?
Perhaps. Could you show us? Could you show us what you mean?
Is Kage still a little hurt right now?
Yeah, he's down however much he was hit by. Yeah.
I don't know why.
He's down 12 hit points.
Yeah. So Rivenus will do one of these for you.
He's still actively bleeding from horn holes in his stomach.
Oh, that's right.
There's just a little drippings of blood to everywhere he goes.
Why?
Just leaking.
Yeah.
Character Mancer really screwed up my pages, but and it's completely gone. Cool. Even better. I think
I'd love to
You
say
can click
that's the same
the
thing.
eye
That's what you
icon
were
and
doing.
drag it over.
there we go.
Okay.
Give you a little healing word.
Nice.
You go ahead and roll that then.
So you shall regain all right, give me a second here.
Probably something.
6 HP.
Okay.
Give you a little healing word.
Cool.
But then I kind of let down the radiance, the sheen go back, and then you see a purplish dark blue energy also kind of envelop Riven's eyes, and then a little bit from his hands. And he goes, life has also been hard, and I dabble in the dark arts.
When you say dark arts, do you mean dark magics? Magics that you shouldn't be using? Necromancy? That kind of thing?
No.
Everyone uses a little bit of necromancy, as long as he's not raising zombies or liches, you know. Like a lot of the healing spells.
As long as you don't do any of that homomancy, am I right? Yeah.
Rivenish basically explains that he gives a little bit about why he came to this town. He explains a little bit about the fact that he lost his friends and his party, and that he was offered a deal with literally an otherworldly patron to take on a warlock ability, and he took the power to save his own life and to continue his journey.
So
You said,
I guess
Fair enough.
So you have a pact. You've made a pact of some sort.
Yes.
Help me understand that, please. How does that strange magic work? Have you a contract on your soul?
No. It has been very different. Whispers. Sometimes the night sky speaks to me. The stars form words. They told me to come here and to rest. And it's been silent. I just know one day this person will call on me.
Well, I don't know whether to congratulate you or to console you. And I kind of pity the situation you're in, but if you would like to participate in what the Song of Fire is trying to do, it is a dangerous thing. You may wonder what I'm doing here. This is an odd group, to be sure. Just look at him, the Goblin Murderer.
Hey.
But his good sides too. You should see him with animals. He really shines. Odd. I never thought I'd be friends with Goblin. I normally hate them. Fairly racist like that.
Let's do one of this things right here. Yeah. So it's been long enough without Rivenus paying attention, and without him being a little drunk, a couple meads in, his minor illusion fails. Cool. You guys see him temporarily for what he really is.
Drow.
And explain what that is.
Half drow. I have the same face, but the skin goes ashen and my hair goes from blonde red to gray silver.
Do you look fully drow, or can we tell that you're half drow?
You can probably tell I'm half drow because of the way the facial features are, but you see me for what I really am, and that's full half drow.
And
probably
a full half,
or is it half human drow? Or What other facial features?
Half human.
Okay.
You sort of got the bone structure of a human, perhaps, but apart from that, you clearly look like a dark elf, right? Like that's
definitely so.
Yeah.
That would freak Adriel out for so many reasons. And he'd definitely almost take a stance as though he was under attack for a second.
What's that all about, Rivinus?
Rivinus looks at his hands and is kind of taken aback for a second, and this is not where I parked my horse.
Well, he looks a bit like Silnorin, huh?
He looks very much like Silnorin.
He feels not aggressive, like he's going to attack him, but he let's get the shit out of him, and he's like, whoa, what's happening there?
He instantly begins to conjure disguise self again, and
when Kage sees you doing that, I don't know if he's going to cast silence over you, so you can't do verbal components of a spell, because you're just start spell casting after you've been found out. So it's kind of
it's gonna make talking a little hard.
Yeah,
but it's gonna. I see him about to cast magic, so I guess I would do that.
You see a silent tear come down his eye, and a look of disgust as he looks at his own ashen skin, and just shakes his head, looking at his hands.
Here's the thing:
he'll drop silence
as
soon as you stop. Yeah.
You don't need to hide yourself, your true self, from us. We've actually had friends who are quite like you, and we know that whatever you've been dealing with in the past might not necessarily be what you're dealing with right now.
Riveneth spits again and looks down at his own skin and says, This blood. You don't understand what I know, what I have seen. I apologize, but this area has bounties on those of my skin and my face.
We know. Just pulls up ahead of this drow.
We don't actually still have the head left, do we, Kage? That's
I think they're sitting in the cart. Someone put the thing where they don't decay, but yeah, they're just sitting in our cart.
I cast you to repose on all the drow heads. We still have, apart from Varens that we gave to Lord Morngrim, we've still got the rest of them in the cart.
Let's just take a moment to step back from this, right? So this guy just decided to join up with our party. We happen to be carrying around a bunch of fucking heads in our back of our truck. Can you imagine trying to cross America, right? You get a job and go, oh, by the way, you can join our band. You can play bass. This is where we keep the heads of all the old bass players.
Here's your cousin.
Sorry. Anyway, I won't interrupt any further.
For the brevity, guys, we could basically say I gotta give you my backstory, the true full backstory, the fact that I hate drow just as much as everybody else, and humbly asked if I can disguise myself again because I'm afraid of the stairs, as I've kind of pulled my cloak over possible to hide who I am.
I have no problem with it. You just, as soon as your illusion faded, you started casting magic, so I tried to stop you.
Yeah, I think everyone in this group, if we could, would be hiding something. It's what makes us individuals. Besides, it's not like you're unique in that regard with your skin and whatnot. This would have happened to hundreds of thousands, maybe.
I think what he's trying to say is that what you do, your actions are louder than words. If you're sent here to kill us, it probably won't end so well. But if your actions are good to us, and then we can be friends, perhaps. Action is what matters.
Well, I guess we should discuss what we're going to do next.
Kage is actually going to talk to the owner of the place and ask if he can help him make his weapon.
I'd be delighted to. Come and give us some assistance, will you? And a few of the other dwarves somewhat reluctantly, but they're going to join in. You know,
They may be
you're not bad for a goblin.
Interested in the weapon because they probably don't know like Oriental style weapons or one like this where it's split in the center.
Looks weak. Fucking break. You can't. What are you supposed to do when you want to chop down a tree? It'd be useless, won't it? Oh, no. Why look at this blade? It's so thin, useful against a peasant, but come across someone wearing armor, you're going to want to have a nice rigid blade with a point at the end for penetration. Oh, this thing is not a true sword at all.
No, it's my version of a rapier.
Well, there's your problem, isn't it? Rapier. It's really more than an oversized needle, ain't it? Not really a sword at all. And swords aren't really weapons.
Yeah. I'm not of the right build to swing something heavier.
I walk on over and pop my head over his shoulder to have a bit of a look-see, and I also have something to be made, please, good dwarf. I'm not skilled in the ways of the metallurgy, but this flower, a pansy, if you could gild it in gold for me, it would be most precious to me and helpful, so that I may have my connections with the Fae. Would you do that?
Oh, sorry, you were talking to the guy, were you?
Yeah. Well, and Pyro and him are having a chat about what they're up to.
I'd be happy to help out. Anything that we can do to benefit yourselves is going to benefit Shadowdale in the long run, I think.
Outstanding, amazing your craft. So, Pyro, what are you doing with this blade?
So,
Sorry.
if I can't cut through armor, I can poke in between it, I guess you could say.
Does it look like a short blade filed down to be more like a rapier or something?
It's basically his katana that he has already, but it comes to a point and it's hollow in the center. Basically, yeah, I'm getting a 1d8 finesse weapons for when I multi-class rogue.
Very good.
So,
well,
yeah.
have we got some
it looks
companions?
Just like the photo that I put.
It's not. It's just a way too skinny katana, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the hollow in the center kind of, or the pointed katana is a sarugi, but that one is like a Kisaki something 3 words in Japanese. Yeah. But
sure.
To answer your question, Adriel, I think whether we have new companions depends on what we're doing next. I'd very much like to, at least before we get out of here, now that we've killed the Minotaur, have a quick look at this exorcism thing, and then I guess back to the ranches, and then maybe back via home. By home, I mean the castle.
The half elf with the divine power might be able to help with that as well.
Hey. Is there anything else that we needed to achieve?
If you'd like to do that, that's certainly a good deed. If we could exercise the temple, it sounds hellish for the people that knew the spirit. Very sad. But then after that, I think I've been pondering with all this violence, and we've lost 2 of our companions. We don't really understand where or what is happening for them. I think we need to try and find out some more if we can and make a decision as to whether we try and rescue them or not. But we can't help anyone if we're dead. And we do have a manticore riding wizard chasing us, perhaps, at least on our trail. I think we have to be careful. I don't want to bring war to Shadowdale.
It's interesting. I'm afraid that it might come here no matter what we do. It's only a matter of time.
We can short circuit the whole thing later on tonight, though, guys. Like when Amon, after we've had this quick discussion, Amon can assemble a message to get to Corax or Syl again.
Yeah.
And see if they need rescuing or if they want rescuing.
Yeah.
How to shrink that down into 25-word bloody messages.
I'm conscious of wanting to get to the Druid moot as well. Let's do the exorcism. I'll plan on the exorcism for tomorrow, Amon. Does that work for you?
Well, I've got these 2 messages. We can send that out now, and then we can go to sleep and then do that on the way out once we decide what we want to do.
It works for me as well. Kage actually wants to ask Adriel if he could use Speak with Animals to ask his wolf his name. I think Kage, while he can't speak to him yet, he makes animal noises to talk to animals, so he might be able to replicate it in his actual birth name or whatever.
Absolutely, I can do that for you, but I can't actually do that all the time. To have the tongue of the animals is a great gift. Indeed, I require a magical gift in order to do it myself, just so that you know. The way you've been with animals has been extraordinary, particularly for one not trained such as I have on the land. But yes, absolutely, I'll do this for you, Kage. It'll have to be tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you. And he does like a little bow and everything. His arms to his side.
Super formal goblin.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Let's deal with the sending. So we get one thing off our plate. Yeah.
All right.
So what I've got so far, where are you? Need rescue. What is the next location? Any intel?
Sounds good.
I mean, what did they let us know last time?
They didn't need rescue. 20 to 50. They're currently in chains. While the figure out what we did.
So how about where are you? Still safe?
Yeah. They said. I think they also said they would be there for a week or something.
At the ranches.
What I don't understand is why don't they need rescue? That's what we need to understand. Like Corax did admit to being a Bane follower just before he walked on into their camp with a hobgoblin that was fighting us, and then he befriended. It was remarkable timing, frightening, and I don't want to think of him as someone who is potentially
against us.
No, against us, yeah. But what has happened to him? Maybe we should figure that out.
Now, do we want to
do
the sending to him this time, or speak to Silnoran again?
Well, Corax was the one that was going to sort out the contract with the Inquisitor.
My thoughts are that if Corax doesn't want to tell us, he won't tell us. And knowing what's happened, I don't think he will. It would be a waste.
Okay.
We just need to know if he's safe and if he wants rescue. It's most basic.
All right. Is there anything else before I send this? No. Okay. And I'll start. Scull my beer and then start casting sending to Silnoran.
All right. So you were able to type it down? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
It's the beer part of the spell cost. It's a dwarf spell.
Yeah.
It is the dwarves.
Just writing it down. It'll be 1 sec.
It's a part of the way they try and write off the extra expenses, Super. I'm very concerned about who's going to run this bar.
It's like an arcane focus that replaces any other spell component you might need.
He's just testing out more mead that we may be able to add to the bar. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, and which who are you contacting, Silnoran or Corax?
Yeah, Sil.
Or... Okay. Alright, so where are you still safe? We are heading towards Hillsfar. We seem to be safe. We are heading towards Hillsfar. I think we are safe. We will join a gladiatorial stable and infiltrate the city. Hillsfar will fall. Goodbye.
I'll repeat that to everyone sitting at the table.
So we're going to kill them? Is that the next step?
Well, I'm not sure. I know Sil definitely had his personal reasons for going to Hillsfar and his sister's there.
Sister, yeah.
But Corax, I don't know about Corax's intentions.
Well, he fell there, and we found out he's a follower of Bane, so that's probably all the intentions we need.
He sort of talked about wanting to go there, like to Hillsfar specifically, a couple of times as well. I can't recall if he gave us a reason or not.
I think it was something about the vision you talked about, a vision.
Well,
yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Something was giving him his powers, and he hadn't quite worked out what that was. And he thought it might be Bane, but he wasn't sure.
Yeah. I think it moved away from Bane, and he thought it was an ex-bloody priest or something, wasn't it? Was it last guess?
Yeah.
Bane.
Edwin?
Yeah.
A cleric of Bane or something.
Either way, it's safe to say I think Corax is maybe not the man that we thought he was. Where does that leave us, though?
Well, do we still want to complete the job at the ranches, or do we need to get going and try and get to the moot? And White Grey Crag on the way. Exorcism, I imagine, is a short thing.
Not too soon, Smith. Let's ignore the ranch for now. We can come back to it. I mean, if your concern, Adriel, is that we bring heat down on Shadowdale, then you already know that there was a group of us that returned to Shadowdale, so all their horses suddenly going missing is going to go, well, it's those cunts from Shadowdale.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can certainly come back and do that and make sure we do the quest for the centaur for chastity, but maybe letting the heat die down and throwing some smoke as to who's actually done it. That'd be beneficial.
And getting away from this manticore riding wizard is probably not a bad idea either.
Yeah. I agree. We are not at that level.
Well, we all have on that. I hope you've all been wise enough to buy some horses for yourself, because we may need to get away in a hurry at times.
Well, I guess I better buy a pony while I'm here then.
We only had one horse before, and Corax talked that. So
True.
Someone can ride Roderick.
Actually, that's a great idea. I'll drive the cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sit on the cart. Dave's not getting paid for just sitting on his ass doing nothing. He's driving the cart.
Fine by me.
You can relax on the cart. Let's not let him just sit there doing nothing.
Yeah.
True.
We need.
Yeah, I'll just ride on the cart. I don't really care about having a horse.
Were there employees
I wanna
at the
be
bar?
close.
By the way,
Are there what's in the bar?
employees at the bar.
Oh yeah. He does most of the bartending himself, Eric. But he does underpay underprivileged people to if he can exploit them, he will. But the short answer is yes, he does have staff.
Okay. Well, we can rehire them under new management and make sure they're paid what they deserve.
And you know who knows where good staff are would be that rep. The beer rep would know the right staffing.
Yeah.
Where to find.
Well, how about this? How about we get the bar sorted? We do the exorcism tomorrow morning on the way out, and then we go back to we're going back to Castle Crag at the plan.
Yeah, what, Greg?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Maynard and team and head north, I guess.
Well, and what's are we just taking Maynard and team to the moot with us in case everything goes horribly wrong and the Black Bloods decide to have a hunt instead of a moot? Then we'll have extra muscle.
Told them we'd pick them up in a couple of weeks. So even if we don't actually take them anywhere, we've got to go and see them and tell them what's going on and where we want them.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Are we planning on taking them with us, or are we going to restock them and leave them there?
Based on what we talked about before, Arctic, would Kage know if big groups are kind of a bad idea? Traveling through the border forest?
Normally, yes, but if we've got a druid with us, then we have authority.
Okay. And Kage won't say anything about it then.
But if the moot is deep in the forest, that is a reason to leave more people out of it as well. Don't really want stomping through the forest and making a mess of it.
Sure. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Good point.
They could be the barkeeps.
Not a great idea.
So, if you want, we could just stock them up and leave them where they are and get them to continue building. And then head on to Dagger Falls and the moot.
Yeah.
Or not? What are your thoughts?
That's fine by me. They probably know something of at least breaking down stone or shaping it from their time as slaves with the drow.
I really don't know. I hope so. I hope we're not treating them poorly, but they seem to be.
They work with stone. That's why they were, slaves. Because they're good at working stone, mining at least. So if you can mine it, I'm sure you could at least shore a bloody open space up so that it's more defensible.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't fuck with Maynard and her crew. Jesus.
Well, on that, should we perhaps just buy them some real size tools for themselves while we're in town, or as much as we can, sledgehammers, like the basics.
Yeah.
If we're going to leave them to do work, let's tool them up, give them plenty of supplies, drop them off.
And they've probably got all those tools, to be fair. I mean, they already had pickaxes and stuff from down in the mines, and they'd probably have, the big metal poles and all the other accoutrement of a mine if they want to go grab it. It'd be supplies to actually help build stuff that they'd actually need. Otherwise, they're cannibalizing the castle for to taking one part from one part and putting it there. But
are the druids occupying a castle? Is that what you're saying?
No, we have a few Goliaths that are occupying our castle for right now.
Could you
see on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're hireling.
Okay.
Yeah. We rescued them a wee while ago from the dark elves that we killed. They had them enslaved and didn't know what to do with them yet. So we offered them a job, and they've been sort of fortifying White Crag as well as they can.
Okay, cool.
It needs a lot of work. It doesn't have a roof or anything, but at least if there's a proper wall around these big gaps and where they already had, then at least a portion of it should be defensible.
Yeah,
that could be a problem.
Oh yeah, and there's God knows how many like tunnels into the Underdark all over that area. So,
yeah. For the whatchamacallit? Fuck. Bar. What do you think? 2 common and 1 skilled. Skilled to be like the chef or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good choice. 2 common and 1 skilled means that you got a few people to wait tables, to wash up, and someone who actually knows what they're doing. Maybe they know how to manage. Maybe they know how to cook. Maybe they know how to brew. Yeah, you can work out what it is they do. Yeah, cool.
What's that going to put us back a month-ish?
24 GP.
Right. Okay. Cool.
All right. So we're going to be moving on to the forest via White Crag. Are we hoping to solve this exorcism before we go?
Yes. We'll be doing that tomorrow morning.
All right. Okay. Yep.
Quick question as well, Arctic.
Sure.
Could you help me with the rest of that? I tried to last time you told us about the magic item creation stuff.
Yeah,
I wrote down as much as I could, but I missed a whole bunch at the end. So I just want to make sure I've got the stuff right.
Cool. If we're going to be making magic items here, then that's something that we should also do. Like, I'm mindful of basically the fact that it's been mentioned that you kind of want things to move a little bit faster, and I'm totally fine with that. On the other hand, it seems that we've had a good time today just role-playing, meeting new characters and immersing ourselves, and I'm great with that as well. So, I'm balancing 2 things here between the fact that you seem to be enjoying yourselves and the fact that you've mentioned that you want it to move along a little bit faster. But since this is basically the only place we can make magic items, this is probably something that we should cover. Probably something we should get done. We're kind of making this today's game a little bit admin heavy, a little bit role playing heavy, but in a campaign as long as this one, I think you can appreciate that. I hope so anyway. So let's rather than going into the theory of this, let's do something for real. Kage, your sword. You want to make a magic sword, right?
I can't afford it to be magic. Is that what? That's 2,000.
You can't afford it to be magic. Yeah. So okay. So I guess that's a problem then. All right. It's better though. Let's build your sword then, so that we can plan it out. We'll basically be like a case study. A case study or example. So, what do you want your sword to do, Kage?
Wait. Would the leeches be able to be used?
Yes.
To make it a +1?
Yeah. Short answer is yes.
Okay.
So you just want it to be a +1 sword. That's nice and simple. That's what we want to see how to make a +1 sword. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So a +1 sword is worth 2,000 gold pieces. That's about as low as magic items get. They actually do get down to 500 gold pieces when they're kind of useless. If you were going to make an esky that is always cold, or a cloak that always is clean, or a compass that always points north, that'd cost you 500 gold. Or rather, it'd be worth market value 500 gold. The next step up from that is a +1 weapon, a pretty basic magic item. Another equivalent would be like a magic ring that casts a 1st level spell like shield once per day, or a cloak of protection that gives +1 to armor class and saving throws. These are basic magic items. They are worth 2,000 gold pieces market value. Okay, so what does 2,000 gold pieces market value mean? It means that that's where you buy. When you go to the shop, that's how much it costs you. But we're making it. And there's always a roughly speaking, 100% markup on what it costs compared to what you sell. So that means if it costs 2,000 gold pieces to buy, it costs 1,000 gold pieces to make. Now, of that 1,000 gold pieces to make it, half of it has to be the object itself. Like, you have to make the best fucking sword, man, or the magic won't imbue it. You need to put, like, I don't know, gemstones or rare metals or strange hides onto the binding of the grip. The point being that you need a sword worth 500 gold pieces. You also need to make up the other to make up the rest of the 1,000. You need 500 gold pieces of other components, and this is where the spell leeches come in. I think do we have 5 spell leeches?
Yeah.
Say that again. Yeah, so 5 spell leeches will be worth 500 gold pieces worth of components. So if we use the spell leeches, all we need now is a sword worth 500 gold pieces that you could probably manufacture if you have, again, the rare metals or the jewels or whatever. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so I hope you understand, but I'll go through it once more. 2,000 gold pieces is market value. Therefore, 1,000 gold pieces is how much it costs to make. Of that, 500 gold pieces is raw materials, and 500 gold pieces is what we call alchemical gold. And that's just or alchemy supplies or whatever. In this case, spell leeches.
So, like you said, if I wanted to have a cloak of protection,
yes.
If I went to straight just go buy it at the tavern, well, not the tavern, but like let's say the armor shop or item shop, it's straight 2,000. But if we were to procure the items, we can go to the Rune Forge, and for 1,000 gold, because it would be like $500 for the cloak, or 500 gold pieces for the cloak, 500 gold for the alchemic materials or spell power. That's our 1,000.
Precisely. Now, what do you think would be an appropriate item, magical piece of junk that you could use for the 500 gold pieces? What do you think is something that relates to a cloak of protection?
Well, it'd have to be a cloak, right? Like a very fine cloak.
Maybe dragon hide.
Absolutely. So you need a cloak worth 500 gold pieces. What would the alchemical substance do you think would be? Like, there are no wrong answers. Sorry?
Like silk and...
Yeah, like if it's going to be like a protection, maybe some extremely protective silk. But silk is good.
Yeah, like
spider silk that we have.
Mithril thread or something like that.
Mithril thread, perfect. Mithril thread is absolutely perfect. You could definitely use spider silk, a giant spider silk, good choice.
We have 200 GP worth of that.
Mithril thread is strong. It's protective. It's defensive. You know, and that's what you're looking for in the alchemical components. You can use a catch-all thing like our spell leeches. Our spell leeches are basically raw magic made flesh. But what you're really after is something that relates to the item. In this case, mithril thread is an excellent example of the sort of things that you would weave into this cloak of protection.
Makes a lot of sense.
Good. That's what we want. Yes,
Do we always have to use the Rune Forge?
No. And so
that makes sense, but yeah. Okay.
Precisely. That's exactly right. So when making the cloak of protection, we wouldn't necessarily need the Rune Forge, but what we would need is like a laboratory of some sort, an alchemist lab, essentially. If you have like a magical fucking needle and thread, then maybe we wouldn't need that at all. But you need something. So there was one component I didn't put down. First of all, we've covered our market value, we've covered cost, we've covered alchemical components. One thing we haven't cost is like what I call a laboratory, and the Rune Forge is a inverted commas laboratory, right? An alchemy set is a inverted commas laboratory. It's basically maybe ley lines converge, say in a druid's Stonehenge or something, or maybe it's a magical pool, or maybe it's a proper wizard's study or something like that. So there, as you say, Super, Runeforge is certainly appropriate for making magical weapons, maybe less so for making magical cloaks.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have to find like some sort of loom, like wow, they have a mana loom. That's how you have to make like the special thread you need for stuff like that.
Exactly right. And if we were to find a mana loom, it's probably the only mana loom for like 500 miles in any direction, most likely. And that then gives us like a kind of exclusive rights, if you will. In modern terms, it means that we are the only ones who have the factory, and there's no other factories for hundreds of miles. So yeah,
if we acquire it.
If we acquire it, that's right. Or if we, dare I say, build it or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. A magic loom would be perfect in the manufacture of magic cloaks. But there's a way around that. And let's say we just buy a beautiful 500 gold piece cloak. It's already got the gold thread and everything. Then we just need some alchemical components. And using Cloak of Protection again, maybe we'll take diamonds, right? Diamonds are hard as fuck. So maybe we'll take diamonds and we'll grind 500 gold pieces of diamonds down, and that becomes our alchemical component. Why? Because diamond relates to protection. You can kind of see the correlation there. So you don't necessarily need the loom. Precisely. So you don't necessarily need the loom if you've already got something made up. And by that contrast, I know I'm talking a lot now, but by that contrast, Kage, if you had a 500 gold piece katana, we wouldn't need the Runeforge because we've already got the sword. We just need the alchemical component. And maybe, again, you might use diamond again because diamond's very sharp. And you might go, well, it's not the hardness property. This time I'm going for the sharpness, cutting edge of a diamond. And you use 500 gold pieces of diamonds, voila, magic.
I would just like to say, I fucking love this. This is sick.
Good, man. Good.
I would actually like to ask,
yeah, thank you.
What would you say for replicating the form of a spell or a semblance of the spell? Like something we may be able to do right now would be, which would be useful for me, is to make my sword make the light around it dim light. If me flowing my key into it to create darkness, not necessarily make it darkness, but like dim light. Would that be possible to do right now?
Absolutely, and that's the final component that I didn't cover. Is that you do need to have magic. Like there needs to be some investment of magic, and like in your case, you want to make a sword that dims the light. What spell are you going to need? What do you think?
Darkness.
Darkness. Fucking obvious. I hope it's obvious at least. So that's good. So the fact that we have, let's make some assumptions here, assuming that we have the sword, the forge, the diamond or whatever, and the ability to cast the darkness spell, then yes, you can make a +1 sword that creates darkness. But of course, a +1 sword that creates darkness is worth more than a +1 sword, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, naturally.
And so naturally. And so let's call it, say, it's probably not twice as good as a +1 sword, so let's call it 3,000 gold instead of a 2,000 gold. And then the rest of the math, I'm confident that you can do yourself. We just need more diamond. Instead of 500 gold, we need 750 gold of diamond. Or darkness. What's a darkness component that we might have?
Obsidian or something.
Brilliant, absolutely, obsidian, brilliant, jet, onyx, or the essence of a ghoul, or maybe the blood of a dark elf. Dark elves have darkness within their veins. They can create magical darkness.
They can do
looks at
innately, so.
Exactly.
Looks at Rivenus.
Bleed for me.
Bleed for me, Riven. This is your ticket into the party.
In the cart.
Yeah.
Just so you know, starting at 5th level, Rivenus, just because he is Drow, can cast darkness for free.
Brilliant. And so the one final point that I want to make before any further questions is this is where the butchery of monsters comes in. We kill a beholder. What are we going to do with it? Well, we harvest the eyes. Why?
Yeah.
I don't fucking
beholder
know.
shield.
But this eye disintegrates. This eye slows. This eye paralyzes. I will find a use for them. I just don't know what it is yet.
How much would it cost to make this sword not a +1, but like do the dim light thing? That might be
just dim light, 500 gold pieces, because like just dim light is not that fucking useful, really. It's cool, but it's not that much more cool than a compass that always points north.
Okay.
So, I guess the only question I've got left, Arctic, is there a DC roll? I thought there would. I thought that was the risk you were running when you were making something. Was it
there? Yeah, there is, and what I'll share with us now is something. Yeah, so what's this called? The omnibus. There's a magic item that has these rules partially. I'll just cut and paste those magic items to show you how it works. So here's some enchantment recipes taken from an object called the Omnibus of Set, and hopefully this kind of answers your question. Since Darkness is a second level spell, the DC will be 12 because it's 10 plus 2. But if you go through those enchantment recipes, that might it kind of might make sense. I hope.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's cool, man. Because
it tracks.
The thing I want to try and make at some stage is an enduring spell book in case I fall in the water.
Yeah, cool. So an enduring spell book. Let's discuss it. Is it as powerful as a +1 sword? Probably not. Right. So that means that it falls into the 500 gold piece category.
Yep.
Because it's useful. It's far from useless. But in many ways, it's kind of well, it's not that useful. It's the sort of thing generally. DMs don't cause wizards to lose their spell books. They're generally not that cruel, generally. And so it's like, yeah. Whereas you can trust that with a +1 sword, which is always useful. To me, in my mind at least, a spell book that is indestructible is clearly not as good as a +1 sword.
Yeah.
So therefore, it costs 500 gold.
So
great.
For making the sword that I want, it would be
yes.
Would it be 250 with the spell leech? If y'all are right with me doing a spell leech.
Precisely, that's right. So it's going to cost you probably 3 spell leeches because you can't make half a spell leech. So 3 spell leeches and a sword worth 250 gold. Yeah, that's all you need.
Uh-huh.
Plus the DC 12 check. Yeah.
And lucky I took all those leeches.
Yeah.
I would obviously I'm new here.
Yeah.
But I have 1,000 gold because I didn't buy anything with my gold. I would happily take a +1 sword of some sort if that is possible. So I can, actually kill stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So with 1,000 gold, you can just straight up manufacture a +1 sword and we can call it done. Or if you'd prefer, you can spend 500 gold on the sword and maybe convince these guys to give you some spell leeches or I don't know, something like that. But if you just want to spend 1,000 gold and manufacture a +1 sword, that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I got no problem doing that.
Yeah, cool.
I'd rather earn my keep,
Very good. And so it's a bit of a bonding exercise, right? As together we forge a magic sword, and what a great experience that would be, right? Like it's a team building.
Everyone drank shitloads of alcohol, then we started forging swords.
Right? Like this is
actually it's going to be a hammer. Okay.
A hammer, excellent. The dwarves are much happier with hammers. Fuck this rapier bullshit.
Dungeon Master, I had kind of stated at the beginning that I would like to do a breastplate.
Yeah.
But that's 400. Would I just be able to spend my 1,000 and get a +1 breastplate? Ed?
Not really, because because you basically have to add the weapon value on top of that. And when it's only like a rapier or a hammer, 10 gold, 15 gold, you kind of just ignore it. But when it's armor, full plate, it's like worth 1,500 by itself. So like clearly +1 full plate and +1 leather probably shouldn't be the same price, right?
Yeah.
So
gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, no, then I'm good with my breastplate for 400.
Sure.
Some cash.
Sure.
Can I bum 250 off somebody?
We're about to go
take my
hammer,
earnings.
I believe.
Can I go into somebody's debt?
Kage.
Adriel moved on over to Emon earlier, considering our supply lines and our employees and what we have to spend. And I'm personally quite low, and I suspect the party wealth is very low as well.
Yeah.
I think resources is an issue.
We're real poor at the moment, guys.
You need 250. Did you say?
Yeah.
Is that Kage?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. There you go. I just made you 250.
Okay. You can you can
how
have
much
my party
your
earnings
horse was?
until it's paid.
No, she's all right. I know you paid me back.
Arctic, you said like a horse would be half price. So how much would that be?
Half price in Dagger Falls. So if you bought it back then, and that's perfectly fine if you did, it'd be 37 gold or 50 gold with its saddle and everything. But if you buy it here, then it's going to be double that.
No. So I would have bought it there. So I'm at 550 because I bought my breastplate as well.
Very good.
So Rivenus, trying to make good with the group, will offer let's say 250 gold pieces to the guild, the group funds.
Party funds?
Yeah.
Man, you had to spend it on. You had to spend it on yourself to gear up your
He's a
PC.
warlock. Doesn't need anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will be pretty damn fine, my good sir.
All right. If you're happy, I'll put it in there.
Well, if we come across any kind of like +1 protection, like a cloak of protection or something, he might try to like, no, this is mine. But for now, he's willing to throw out some cash.
We'll have to pencil a fair bit of that. Well, I shouldn't say a fair bit of that. We'll have to buy a shitload of supplies for our own team, or food, what have you. Load up the wagon with shit for them to eat for the next wee while if we're leaving them there.
Some yum-yums.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say that we buy a month's worth of simple food for them.
And I apologise. I thought horses were 50 gold piece in Shadow I misheard that. I didn't realise that was Dagadar. So I can't even afford a horse. I'm sorry. Even I've told you all buy horses.
Take it out of the party funds, mate. Just take it.
Okay, I'll take 5 gold, and that's 100 gold. I can pay for a horse. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, and that comes with the saddle and everything. Yeah.
And maybe like you guys do your thing. I'll just start in the background. I'll just start assembling a little list of shit we should take to Maina.
Wait. So the horse and saddlebags was 50 gold, correct?
50 gold if you had bought it in Dagger Falls, yes.
Yeah. I was there for a year, so that was my plan. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah.
So who needs to make this DC 12 check for Kage's thing, or is it lower because it's just like a uncommon item? I guess it would be.
No, it's you'll still need to make the check, but you can have advantage because you've got like the forge master here, room master here with you watching over. Like it's like being in junior high school when you're working in metalwork and the teacher's watching.
What check would you want me to roll for it?
You'll probably want anyone's blessing on this, wouldn't you, Kage? This is a big deal.
Absolutely.
You're creating something.
And you have it, my friend.
Okay. Now, would this be a wisdom thing? Just a flat wisdom? Or...
let's have a think about it. Normally, it'd be an Arcana check, but like because it's making a sword, you might say, "Well, I'm a smith. Can I use my smith's tools?" Yeah, sure, you can. So, do you have any skill that might be useful, or are you just gonna? Or are you a complete amateur?
I'm a complete amateur.
Could I recon it for him? Could I? Like I've got smith's tools and I can roll intelligence for Arcana on both, so I can do an Arcana check on my smith's tools, or an intelligence check on my smith's tools.
It's up to I guess Kage if he basically wants to take a back seat. And you make the sword for him. That's sure. I guess it's up to him.
We could do that, and while it's being made, I'll be flowing my key into it as well for the darkness spell.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you're providing the magic, and Colfaris is doing the manual labor. That's cool.
And like
Alright.
Kage's shadow is going to be like pulling up from his feet and down his arm as it flows into the weapon.
Rivenus will actually step forward and place a hand on Kage's back and channel darkness into him as well.
Brilliant. All the darkness. Well, look at this. This +1 weapon is about as close to what we're trying to do as anything can be. So let's see what they want there. They want an Arcana check. We're going to replace that with our Smith check. And they also require a Constitution saving throw, because this doesn't happen. Well, I was going to say it doesn't happen overnight. It literally happens overnight. It takes all night for you've got to channel the darkness, channel the darkness, channel the darkness, and by the time we're finished, we're exhausted. So, Coltharis, you make the Smith's tools check. Kage, you make the Constitution saving throw. Both of you have advantage. Coltharis has advantage because the Rune Master is helping, and Kage has advantage because Rivenus is helping.
I hope I don't fuck this up for you, Kage.
Nice.
You make a work of art. Like the 27 is far beyond what you need to do. So what you end up fashioning is a work of art. It's quite simply divine, kingly. Yeah.
How much would it be worth to make it a +1 later?
Yeah. You basically got to add it on later, so it's going to be 2,000 halved is 1,000. But importantly, it's already ready for that. Like, you've got such a beautiful sword now that it's asking to have more power invested in it. In like Diablo terms, there are more slots available for you to allocate powers to, I guess.
It's awesome. Okay. So I now have a sword that emits dim light.
Bougie as. Hold on.
See a small tear rolling down Pot's cheek.
Now, does that,
Pretty awesome.
since it's
just a
replicating, yeah, since it's replicating darkness, would it also work even in torchlight? Because darkness does it against torchlight and stuff.
I guess so. Yeah, like that. So yeah, let's work out what it is. So I don't even actually know what you're trying to do here. What do you want the sword to do?
I want it to, no matter where I am, when I draw it out, there's dim light around me. So like canceling out light.
Yeah. All right. So so wherever you go, there is not bright light. It's only dim light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be permanent, but only within, say, a 10-foot radius.
That's fine.
Yeah, which is all that you want it for. Yeah.
So you do this shadow shit later on.
Exactly. Yeah. I can see how this can kind of be a bit of a rort. But that's the point. This is a highly specialized weapon. It should serve your purposes really well.
Awesome.
Well, it's quite amazing to witness such a focal point of magics and the creation of something special. I take it this is what you want to do more of, Super. You've often mentioned that the creation of magic is the thing that appeals to you.
I am going to be building stuff, starting with my waterproof spellbook. We'll start small. Well, starting with that sword that I didn't mean to create, but going to the waterproof spellbook.
I think we should, how about as a party, we agree to make that a priority, since it is in skill sets and what he wants to do. It sounds like a great thing. If he is able to share his skills with all of us.
Kage's indebted to him, so.
Rivenus wipes the sweat from his brow after, 8 hours of channeling darkness through Kage.
Yeah. And as I want to note, like, as you were doing that, my darkness, like, felt much different from your darkness, because it's not actually magic. It's, like, the plane that exists within the body is what monk magic is. So it pulls that power.
And I just light smile and go, exhausted. But pleased.
It's great.
It was interesting.
What a night.
Yeah. Ready for a funeral in the morning, boys? While the balls are rolling up?
Yeah, funeral and an exorcism.
Yeah.
What's your plan around that? Anyone?
Let's not get them mixed up.
Exercise the temple.
Well, she doesn't sound malicious. I don't think she has any reason to hurt us. I'd like to find out why she's hanging around, and I can turn the undead. So you never know.
Then we
If I
don't
can't
have
help, I can't help.
You can like commune with it or speak to it.
Out of character, didn't Adriel, didn't you get a bit of info from Storm?
Yeah, I think I did talk to Storm about it, because I think I remember Storm saying that she'd banished it 3 times.
Yeah.
What, I don't even know if the type of undead, if the spirit can hurt us, or all that sort of data.
I think it's more I can't remember if it was that or another conversation, but there's something about a personal connection might be something we could look for as well.
There's a reason her spirit's still here.
She's here. Yeah. So if we could figure out where she lived and that sort of stuff, like maybe that'll help too, as well as the temple. There might be clues of where she lived.
Yeah.
So we need a background check and some investigative work on it.
His eyes kind of light up. Brilliant. I would never have thought of this.
Well, we'll see what she says. She might give us all that. Anyway, I need to rest before we do go, so
yeah.
Just take a punt on a Constitution save.
yeah.
Me and Kage are fine now. We're key to go. Kidding.
All right. Head to bed. Go for the next day.
Yeah,
I believe so. I think that makes sense.
All right. You get a great night's sleep as the rain falls on the tin roof in this very wild, rustic, rural, magical town.
Love that.
Oh, forgot to check. Did the gilded flower? Did the flower get gilded with some gold? The daisy.
Which flower? Oh, that's right. Yeah. They'll do that for out of the kindness of their hearts. It's like a bit of a side project for them.
I paid for the components.
Very good. Very good.
Is it still heavily raining?
Pretty much most of the time. Like, it doesn't rain 24 hours a day, but it's definitely wet weather.
The party may notice that I have a 2-inch earth elemental sitting on the inside of my hood, and I just kind of pet him as we walk or as my horse trots along, and he's just sitting in the inside of my hood, and I'm keeping him away from the wet.
What was it?
He's about 2 inches, but it's an earth elemental.
Oh, okay.
So, you are an interesting fellow.
Wow.
It's like Kage's going to be like, oh, I got pets too, just his skunks and his rats and the wolf.
No, literally the trinket I rolled is that I have a 2-inch earth elemental that is afraid of bugs. His name's Dusty.
That's hot.
Yeah. So Dusty is in my hood, just chilling.
No, Dusty.
He sees like a little lady beetle crawl out underneath your hat, and he freaks out.
No,
the rat's going to run up and eat it.
I like kill any bug that gets near Dusty because he's my best friend. He's my bestie.
No problems at all. All right. So the next morning, we have a task to do. We head over towards the Temple of Timora, or Bashaba if you prefer, the good or the bad goddesses, good and bad luck. Fresh templates? Yeah, I'll make a couple up. And we find we find a temple that has been boarded up. They board it up, and every month they unboard it again. The windows, the door, the whole thing is shrouded completely in darkness because it's all boarded up. Big heavy curtains hang over the windows. The doors are big and bold. But as you look through the gaps in the boarding, you'll see a burned and blackened temple where much of the general junk of the temple's still in there. The pews are still there, though they're burned and blackened and broken. Whatever spell components they might have used in the rituals, like holy water and chalices, and in this case games, they use a lot of dice, they use a lot of cards, tarot cards and things like this, bone dice for oracles. All of these things are scattered, dirty, dusty, and decrepit. But there's no spider web because there's no spiders. There's no rat droppings because there's no rats. The place is devoid of life. It reeks of negative energy, of necrotic energy. It's just this place is anti-hallowed, desecrated. That's the word. So temples are consecrated by their nature. This one is desecrated, like an altar where cultists have been sacrificing.
Is there evidence of this sacrifice / desecration? Is it like people have been writing on the walls and there's blood and whatever else?
From the outside, we don't spot any such desecration, no. What it looks like is there was an explosion of evil, necrotic energy, whatever, who knows. But it does look like a bomb went off in there, quite literally, and the walls are scorched. But the curtains have rotted. The floorboards are rotting. The beams and the tiles, they're discolored, they're deteriorating. It's like entropy has accelerated here, and although it's only a year that's passed, it looks more like decades, and this place has fallen into ruins at a unnatural speed.
Is there an open? Is the door locked? The front door.
The front door is boarded up, as are all the windows.
Any way to get in?
Yeah, you better like pull up the boards, like get a claw hammer and rip the panels off.
Can Rivenus like sniff the air and make a perception check just to feel like what he feels in the air?
Yeah, absolutely. An insight check. Oh, perception. Yeah, perception's okay. Yeah, perception's gives different information. It smells rotten. It smells rotten. Not exactly like the grave, but everything right down to the stone itself is deteriorating in there. You don't smell corpses because all the flesh has rotted away, but you do smell rotting wood and splitting stone, and just it smells like chemical deterioration.
Rivenus will like kind of pull his shirt forward a little bit, and there's a pouch hanging from his neck on a cord, and he looks at Dusty and goes, "Back to the pouch, little one."
He climbs in.
I'll tell my assorted rodents to go play by a tree.
Yeah, they're happy to. They don't want to go in there. They're too young and too beautiful to die.
Just like Colt, I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual sitting on the front steps before we go in.
Absolutely. So that'll take an extra 10 minutes, but we've got all the time in the world, so it doesn't matter.
Is there any way I can sense if, like, Shar's realm has anything to do with it? Shadow Weave?
You can make a religion check, absolutely, or you might have a spell that gives a much more definitive answer.
I might jump in on that religion check just to see if there's any discernible other religions other than Telmora going on here.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to watch their back.
Indeed. Amon, you have no doubt that Timora has fled this place. This belongs to Bashaba, the goddess of bad luck. It seems to you that maybe the goddess of bad luck was playing a trick all along and was just playing the long con. This might be listed as a temple of Timora, but you can sense the corruption here. There's nothing lucky about this. The only luck it's got is bad luck.
Oh.
Adriel would like to scout out around the outside and do a nature check and just get a feel for how the nature spirits are affected by this rot.
Good call. Absolutely. Adriel, everything is dead. Everything within, say, a 30-foot radius is completely dead. There's not a blade of grass, but there's not even worms in the soil. The necrotic energy has leaked out of this place, and in doing so, it's split the rocks. That's how decrepit it is. Nothing within 30 feet has survived, and even things that aren't alive are showing signs of entropy.
Yeah,
one last question before we go in. Is there a graveyard at the back or attached?
No. Graves and burials are traditionally handled by Shauntia here. In fact, the Temple of Timora was, apart from being a temple, it was primarily a game store. They sold tarot cards and board games and children's toys. There's a lot of children's toys in there. Bears with their stuffing ripped out, those old blinking dolls that are tarnished and one eye constantly twitches. It's a toy store that has fallen into corruption.
How far in town are we, like from the edge of the corruption to maybe, like, let's say where life begins?
No, that's the Mistra one. This is the Timora one. It's about a 30-foot, give or take 30 feet, which is about 10 meters from the edge of the temple, is where life comes back. And it comes back in pretty strongly because Shadowdale has a lot of positive energy.
So Rivenus will hop off his horse and lead him back into the edge of the life and tie him off to a tree, maybe an extra 10 feet just for safety, and whispers something in his ear to the lungs of the lines of Beville. And then kind of saunters on back over to the group.
The horse is much happier being back here. It was really unsettled when it was close to the temple.
Amon, did you share who it was corrupting this place?
Yeah, I would have shared all of that.
Maybe if there's holy symbols of the goddess of bad luck, they can be destroyed. That might help. Anything that gives her power here.
I think once we get in, that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea I've heard.
Speaking of, how about we go in? Maybe you can help us take these boards off, and I'll just turn around to Black Tankard.
Yeah, I'll start ripping them off.
With my thieves' tools, they come with a crowbar, right? I'll start doing that.
It does, yeah.
You want me to do a check for it, or?
No, okay. It's as simple to, in fact, these boards are rotting, right? So after we remove them, they probably split and break, and the nails are rusty. And rather than removing them, we just destroy them, even though was never our intention. So we'll be coming in from this northern side. This proportion is about right. It's about 90 feet long or 100 feet long, 95 feet. There is a statue at the far end of it, and that statue is blackened. Ostensibly, it looks like an oversized halfling woman. It's like a good 10, 12 feet tall, but it has the dimensions of a halfling. And she's doing a gesture which I don't know how to describe it, because maybe like a gesture of corruption. She's meant to be doing a positive gesture, but she's doing a negative gesture, right?
Is Flipping us
I'm
the
not sure
bird.
how better to explain it.
Yeah, that's what I was
Flipping
thinking.
us the bird as we walk in.
Right? Yeah. Instead of
Fuck
having a
you,
hand out,
nerds.
that's not too bad. Yeah. So instead of having a hand on to offer, she's her hand is closed, save for the middle finger, which was raised. That's as good as anything else. Yeah, but she is not showing any sign of degradation. She's blackened, full of soot, but she is not crumbling the way everything else is.
I say we destroy that.
Rivetus' eyes kind of go purplish blue, and he does an Arcana check on in the room.
Yeah, there is strong necromancy here. Yeah, what we call negative energy, more commonly known as necrotic energy, death magic, necromancy. It's entropy in there. It's the force of the universe that causes everything to decay.
I will pass this information on to the group.
Yeah, Eamon's going to lead everyone in and start praying. As we walk in, anything detect magic gonna come pop up or anything?
As soon as you enter the room, the whole place just begins to the floorboards start rattling, and the wood paneling breaks away. The nails rust to nothing and fall out. It's clear that this entire temple rejects your presence the instant any of you step foot into it.
They who be here who do not belong, show yourself.
Show ourselves? You are the one who do not belong here. This is my temple. Be gone. There is a shadow flicking around behind the main statue. She's only short, 2.5, 3 feet tall, this little shadow. And she's basically crouching behind, peering around from behind the idol. But she makes it absolutely clear that it's you who doesn't belong here, not her.
I'll have to absolutely say this is I'll have to say this is absolutely terrifying. I love it. You reside in a place which is not yours. What is your business here?
Not mine. I am the priestess of good and bad luck. This is my temple. I am the only one who belongs here. You are interlopers, and you must be gone, or I will rot you from within, your body and soul.
That's just not nice, is it?
Is there something you wish to achieve here? Surely we can come to a mutual agreement.
Yes, I wish curses on all who trespass. I wish eternal bad luck on any who violate the sanctuary of this temple.
Rivenus will speak up. You said you are both good and the bad luck. Why only bad?
My time of a priestess of Timora has passed. Now I am Elrana, cleric of Beshaba.
Would I know that that's even possible? Is that something that can happen with Timora?
It's a good question, and that brings it to something that really should be brought up, and that's the nature of Timora and Beshaba. Now, they are quite literally two sides of the same coin. It's not so much an analogy as a fact, because during the days of ancient Netheril, we talked about the Netherese Empire that fell in the Anarok Desert more than 1,000 years ago. During the time of ancient Netheril, they were only one god. They were the god Tyche. And Tyche was good and bad luck, but Tyche split apart and became Beshaba and Timora. So they, you could see them as sisters, and that would be a correct analogy. But you could see them as Siamese twins, and that would be equally accurate.
Like Shar and Saloon.
Oh.
Like Shar and Saloon, that's right. Except for Shar and Saloon were never one united god. They were always distinct from each other, but still a good analogy.
Kind of more like Janice said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. A two-faced god. That's right. Who was originally a single god. Yeah.
Okay.
And why the change of heart? What now to this poor town?
There is enough good fortune in here to go around. I bring balance.
Well,
And what have you done? Oh, sorry, go on.
It seems the only bad fortune is the previous tenant that you've locked in here. Why don't you just let her go?
That is her.
She is me.
I thought you. Okay, I got you.
My body is gone, but my soul remains. The life of Elrana, priestess of Tamora, has ended, and the eternity of Elrana, priestess of Bashaba, persists.
Are we getting what idea of what kind of thing we're dealing with? It seems like from your description an incorporeal spirit, but it's claiming to be a cleric.
That's right. So that's right. It seems to be an incorporeal spirit, almost certainly undead. And yet she, by her own testimony, is a priestess. She's quite clearly independent and free thinking, so she's far beyond, say, a zombie. Exactly what she might be is hard to tell, but whatever she is, she sits at the heart of entropy. She is not just undeath; she is the embodiment of undeath.
Could we do a, I don't know, nature check to see if we know what she is at this point? If she's like a white or of some sort?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's what Adriel was asking. So yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. She seems to be like nothing you've ever come across before. She's probably not a ghost because ghosts. Yep, Cold Forest. She's probably not a ghost because ghosts tend to be simple. They're almost like recordings, right? Like ghosts tend to play out what happened over and over again. So she's probably not a ghost. She seems to be far more powerful than like a shadow, a simple shadow that saps your strength. But the truth is, she's almost certainly unique.
Okay.
Is there anything we can say that will make you leave this place and leave this town behind?
There is nothing you can do. Unless you think you are better than me.
How do you mean?
I am the embodiment of luck itself. How lucky are you?
Can I take out a coin? They're stamped, right? Heads or tails?
Mm-hmm.
Can I flip it and say heads as it goes up? And see what it lands on?
All right.
Roll a 1d2, a 1 is a heads.
I call tails, she says, and roll a 1d2. On the 2, it's the heads. On a 1, it's the tails.
Oh.
Ah. Well, looks like you're the goddess of luck, not bad luck. That's 2 out of 3.
I accept. As you can see, this realm belongs completely to Bashaba.
Well,
you have already failed your test. Be gone, lest I sap the life from your bones.
I'd wager that if you were the goddess of bad luck, I would have won. If you worked for the goddess of bad luck, I would have won.
Another challenge, then. Or to anything that you can do, I can do better.
Okay. Backflip.
Come in, then. I invite you in. Show me what you can do.
Show me what you got.
But you'll be stepping beyond the breach and into the necrotic energy if you should do this.
How far is it from where we're standing to where the shadow is, where she is?
Just shy of 100 feet. We're still at the door. Like, we've got this necrotic wind blowing in our hair and our beards, and she's 95 feet away from us.
What do you think, guys?
I mean, if the other two more powerful people couldn't take care of it, maybe they just weren't willing to pay the price.
Well,
I'm not one for games of chance.
This kind of energy makes me sick to the core. It stands for everything which opposes what I believe in. I hate this. This is a stain on the world, but I don't really feel like I have the powers to overcome it. This is not my strength dealing with this kind of spirit. This is dangerous.
Ooh.
I just don't know about it.
And I challenge her again, but I want a minor illusion, both sides of the coin.
You have already shown me that your luck is void.
And your luck's still pure.
If you have anything else to prove to me, I dare you, at the cost of your life should you fail. Or be gone and leave me in peace.
Rivinus will step forward because he always walks around in his minor illusion of, or not minor, disguised self. And he goes, look, disguise, things to show. We are not all we seem. And he will drop his disguised self and goes, try me, spirit. And he'll flip a D2.
We have already been through this. We have proven that your luck failed mine. If you have any skill whatsoever that you could challenge me, I promise you that I am better than you are. Trust me or die.
I can challenge her to a game of darts.
Actually, he's gonna start making a performance and do a little dance. If he can outdance the devil.
All right. So he's about to step in. Do we stop him? Do we grab him, or do we let him dance with the devil?
Adriel tries to stop him. It's like, I think you know not what you play with. Be careful here. This is death speaking to you.
This isn't the brightest folk in town, bro.
It's a dance-off.
Your challenge is accepted. Tell us about your dance. What's it look like?
It's definitely very similar to a Celtic dance, very much with beat movement. He did very well, so it's actually pretty good. He's getting some high kicks. The knee comes up on both sides. The arms are down and straight, and his feet are jigging left to right. And the face is very stern. He knows that this is a performance for not only himself, but his place within this group.
As the dancer.
All right. Her movements are a lot more deliberate, a lot more artistic, like an opera perhaps, or one of those postmodern plays where nobody actually knows what's going on. And,
shit.
And just gaze off into the distance and do oversized gestures, like a dervish.
Oh!
And you cannot deny that her performance is better than yours.
Wow. Rolled an 18.
Have you anything else? For I am ready to claim your soul.
Rivinus goes to one knee. He hangs his head. The devil has beat him for this round.
I owed one soul. Are there any others who wish to risk theirs?
And I usually just punch stuff, so I don't know what that guy is.
You need to make another bargain to win, or you could be paying a very severe price.
I've owed someone my soul before. So if he's still going, if he's doesn't have anything else, I'll challenge her to darts.
Very well. We shall test the agility and dexterity of our fingertips.
I'll be calling on the spirit guardians to give as much guidance as possible, if that energy is able to enter the place.
Indeed. And make it an acrobatics check rather than an attack roll, since, or a sleight of hand, if you prefer. But in that way, the guidance will affect it, because it is a skill check rather than an attack.
I have something that would actually help that specifically does this, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'll do sleight of hand. It's the same.
Okay.
16 plus 4. I won't need it.
And so what is it, like you throw a dart into like a target or something? How does
A rotting dartboard, since they sold toys and stuff.
Exactly right. They sell toys here, right? So maybe she throws first and gets bullseye, and you throw through the bullseye or something like that. Very well. It seems that we are matched. Then let us play the decider.
So would that be again?
That would be a different skill.
Does it have to be you, or can it be anyone?
I challenge any of you.
I will step forward, and I'll take my dagger, cut my hand, let it bleed onto the ground, and I'll make a medicine skill check.
Brilliant.
You call yourself a cleric? I expect you to do the same. I'll look up and my eyes will glow golden light.
Brilliant. So you make a medicine check and you find something that, because it is life, she is innately weak at, and so she will have disadvantage. It's life is anathema for what she has become.
I'm going to go ahead and cast guidance on him.
Brilliant. And it gets you over the line. This proves nothing, she says. You have shown that luck is not with you, and while you have some skill, I will acknowledge, you must yet beat me in another competition before I will heed what you have to say.
What is your quest?
What is it similar to that? Do you acquiesce to this demand?
I could race her across the room.
I do. How about we tell each other a riddle?
Yes, I shall give you 3 riddles, and if you can answer all 3, then I will listen to thee.
Is this to everyone or just Eamon?
It can be for everyone, but you seem to be making demands?
You seem to be making demands, and you're not holding your side of the bargain. We've beat you once, we beat you twice.
And I beat you initially. It was shown that luck was on my side.
But I think we are even. Bad luck.
The bad luck was yours, not mine.
Well, if you're the cleric, bad luck.
So the way this is going to work is I'm going to get out a timer, and we'll have 60 seconds to answer. You can discuss among yourselves, right? Like the timer won't start until the question is asked. But the first person to definitively say one answer will be accepted. So don't call it out. unless you're sure. But someone has to call it out before the time runs out, or obviously we lose. So are we ready?
So I would say, like, if we're going to definitively say it, say something, answer, and then give the answer, because that way we can discuss it freely.
The answer
right, you can
is, and
discuss
then
it, but you only have up to 1 minute to discuss and to announce it. It's the pressure is on.
All right.
All right. I know a word of letters 3. Add 2, and fewer there will be.
Add 2, and fewer there will be.
50.
Would it be?
Any ideas, anyone?
No.
It depends on if it's like the number 9. You add 2 lines.
Wow. Okay. So my character's stupid as shit, but he knows.
Time is ticking. 35, 33, 32.
Answer. The answer is few.
We accept this.
The answer is what?
Few.
Add 2
Yeah.
to
Yes.
few.
Yes, it is. Fewer it will be. Yes, that's it.
15, we agree?
Yep.
Yep.
Very clever, she says. All about, but cannot be seen, can be captured, cannot be held. No throat, but can be heard.
Again, I know this, but like I don't want to tell you guys because like my character's stupid.
What?
Oh, but he's knowing it. I guess Rivenus just knows riddles.
Right.
I think it's
What do you think it is?
wind.
Ah.
Yes.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I like riddles, guys. I'm sorry.
You are
No,
too
no,
clever,
It's good, man.
she says.
Yes.
What?
I'm glad we had you this week.
If my character could not fucking if he wasn't rolling high, we'd be you know what I mean. I wouldn't play it.
Then let us see if you can answer my question number 3. Each morning I appear to lie at your feet. All day I will follow, no matter how fast you run, yet I nearly perish in the midday sun.
Shadow. That's Kage.
Shadow.
Kage's answering this. That's his thing. It's a shadow.
Curses! She says and rolls for initiative.
Well played.
Bitch. He's gonna eat my radiant damage all fucking day.
Well, beating her may be what was necessary
we are
too.
95 feet away or 90 feet away if we stepped inside.
Yes.
I would have been inside the door to do my little dance.
That's right. And I think also Amon and Kage are probably inside as well.
Yeah, I don't see
you can
my
put stuff on your map
token,
if you want to. Click and drag it. Drag it from Heroes of the Dales. Although your tokens are very big, so you don't necessarily have to put them down if you want, but it's up to you.
I don't even see me.
Grab yourself out of Heroes of the Dales in the folder and drag your name straight down onto the map. That's the way you click and drag yourself onto the map.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought I'd be the furthest away. Apparently, Eamon is.
Oh yeah. No, I stepped in, I believe, so I'll be there somewhere.
Yeah, I think Amon stepped in. Yeah. It's all kind of indicative because of the size of our tokens. I might shrink them down actually. Oops.
I so wanted to fight this witch. I'm glad this is happening. I'm just having some issues and I'm just going to reboot.
Absolutely.
Is it the ghost of Balor?
This woman?
6.11. It looks like Balor, doesn't it?
Oh, right, yeah. Someone must have had Balor's token selected. When you roll initiative, you need to have your own. You need to highlight your own token. So who rolled the 6? I don't think it was me. Oh, he must be in there from last game. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
He's just come back to freak Kage out.
Speaking of Kage, you have to roll for initiative, Kage, even if it means I'm doing it a second. Amon, Tormund, Adriel, Rivenus, Coltharis, and then Kage will be the last.
Glad I'm going first. I kind of wish I was going last, but that's okay.
Amon, you've been waiting for this. You know, like your radiant energy is bursting at the seams.
Yeah, so I'm going to move my. Going to move his 25 feet closer.
Cool. So you're starting at like 90 feet, so you move another 25 feet, which puts you, 65 feet away, I think?
Yes, I believe so.
Right.
Is that right? It's about 65 feet.
Yeah, that's right. If we started at the 95-foot mark, or if you're outside, or the 90-foot mark if you were inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the range of Sacred Flame? I think it's only 60 feet.
Get a 60, yeah.
Damn.
You can hold it until she enters the range, if she enters it, if you want to.
Are these walls?
Yeah, that's right. This white part doesn't exist. It's just it's a T-shaped temple.
I'm going to use 69 feet.
Nice.
Sorry, that's completely fucked my. I want to just bash her, but I guess I'll just cast Scorching Ray at 2nd level.
Yes.
That's very wrong at 3rd level.
Okay.
I'm just having massive issues with Roll20 at the moment.
All good, man.
Right. Scorching Ray, 15 to hit. Oh, wait, I rolled twice. 8, I guess it is.
You should actually roll it 3 times. It's 3 separate beams.
Oh, true. That's just the spell. Because it's automatically as a 2nd level spell in my Roll20. I roll one more.
Isn't Scorching Ray 3 rays? So you would roll 4 for a higher level?
And she holds up a shield of pure shadow, and it deflects the blast with each strike.
So I cast it at 3rd level, I get an extra 1, so does the 17 hit?
17 does not.
Oofed.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yes, that must be on 14 or 15 if she casts a shield spell.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. That's my turn.
All right. Coltharis, you are 95 feet away.
I am... should have already been out here, but I didn't bother getting him out. 1 second. Where is Pick?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's fine.
That list is fucking huge now.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. I'll put it in...
no. Was Pick giant sized?
As it should be.
Oh, no.
We were all that size originally. I think he shrunk the tokens.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath on Picker.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to tell that little bad boy to hoover off and do his thing. So he moves 50 feet. So he'll dash 60. So about 2/3 of the way. You said it was about 90. So about
that's
there.
95. That's right. 95. Yeah. So if he dashes 60, he'll be 35 feet away.
Yeah. We'll just put him there.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Remembering the numbers is more important than exact positioning on this particular map.
And I will. How far away are you, Eamon, from here at the moment?
69 feet.
Okay, I'll just move there, and that's me.
Okay. Tormund, 95 feet away.
Yeah, let's use my action to dash 50 feet.
All right, so that puts you 45 away.
So far.
Somebody that wants to get into dangerous ways straight away. Good on you, Tormund.
Yeah, we've missed a heavy hitter for sure.
Yeah, just to distract everybody so we can throw shit at people.
Adriel.
Well, Adriel sees some nastiness in there, and he's done some pretty good sort of nature checks and sort of thinking this is a creature of sorts, and it seems to be flying about the place. I had another spell in mind for a flying creature that was going to potentially give us grief. I might earthbind this thing if I may. I'm going to draw some strips of energy to bind the thing and pull it to the ground.
Very good. Concentration or something?
Strength.
Strength. Cool. But she is powerful. And she is in her lair right now, and the necrotic energy breaks your binds before they can take hold.
Okay. I will cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff as a bonus. And I'll take partial cover behind. I don't want to cross that threshold. It feels corrupted to me and against everything I stand for, but I want to see her perish.
Very cool. Right, Rivenus.
Rivenus, I've been kind of doing the map. Can you guys see my arrow or no?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That I've been not meaning to do that this whole time, but I was just mapping. Right about here is 29 feet. From there, he's going to cast. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and drop Fairy Fire on her and the statue.
Yes.
So he will turn her into a light blue and the statue into a violet.
Excellent.
And then he's going to expend 2 of his sorcerer points. And he is going to go ahead and cast Sacred Flame on her.
All right. So you can quicken a spell, can you, that way?
Yes.
I don't know if that lets you. Sacred Flame's a cantrip, isn't it? So that will work. Yeah. Because Sacred Flame's. Yeah, good call. All right. So the statue is glowing. What color was it?
The statue is glowing violet, and she will be glowing blue.
Excellent. Very good. And she makes a dex save. There it is. There's a sheet. All right. Makes a dex save. And she is caught up in it. And the radiant energy that you summoned was not particularly powerful, but it seems to burn at her with an intensity and fervor that surprises even you.
Interesting. Oh no, never mind. Then that'll be the end of it.
All right. But now it's her turn.
It's actually mine. It's just since I rolled last, it wasn't moved up.
Right. Thank you for pointing that out.
So Kage is going to do Speedy Boy stuff. And
Roadrunner.
Yeah. Run the 100 feet using Step of the Wind. And not with his brand new sword, because he doesn't know if it'll get damaged, but he's going to use it with his regular katana. Some reason it's not on my sheet. Huh. Let me move a long sword over to my sheet real quick. There we go. Wait, should be +6. So 11. Out in 11
That's
hits.
a hit. Yeah. So you run straight up into her face. You're able to get that far, are you? 95 feet easily?
Yeah.
And still attack? Yep,
Yeah.
cool.
And 11 hits? Or is she
No.
she's at disadvantage? Well, I'm at an advantage, so I'll roll again.
Yeah, you're at advantage now.
So you can roll us again.
Nope.
No, it does not.
I'm going to use my extra attack. Swing again. I don't know. Bless isn't on me. Wait, yes it is.
Would have expired when that riddle thing was happening, but
Oh. Well, 21 to hit.
I can't.
Oh yeah, with your second hit?
Yeah.
All right. And that will strike her. She can't use the protection of the statue as cover when you're in hand-to-hand with her. So you're right up, right in front of her, I guess?
Yep. And I'm also going to make that a stunning strike. Compensate from her.
Be careful. No. In fact, no, don't be careful. Go loose.
Yeah, punch her as much as you want.
Before she takes that, she uses her.
She already used it for shield.
No, no, that wasn't a shield spell. That was her. That is a shield made of shadow.
Is that a reaction?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a reaction. She is she's wearing magical armor and she's wearing a shield. When she died, she had a shield and armor, and that transfers into the spirit life into the afterlife.
Awesome.
So, I didn't correct a super because honestly, it felt like metagaming anyway. So I was happy for you guys to lead each other astray with your incorrect interpretation of the rules.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So re-roll my longsword attack.
Your attack roll. Yeah.
It's still at advantage.
That's right. Still at advantage.
Ooh. Are you kidding me? I seriously have Bashaba's luck right now, but since it didn't hit the...
It certainly does.
Stunning strike.
More than you know, because you end your turn in her aura, and it rots your flesh and your clothing and your teeth, and you begin to age at a rapid rate, and you wonder if maybe taking on a spirit of death in its own temple was such a really good idea.
So 5 necrotic?
5 necrotic. All right. Okay. She looks straight at you, eye to eye, Kage, and you feel yourself withering underneath the intensity of her gaze.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Are you shitting me? Inspiration.
All right.
18. Suck it.
Okay, so half damage.
We should explain that to Tormund and Rivenus as well. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like every session, lads, you get 1 inspiration to spend however you want. But it has to be for you, and it has to be a D20 roll. So yeah, if you feel like you're really fluffing a dice roll that you really want, then just say inspiration.
Exactly, and particularly useful at a time like now when we're towards the end of the session anyway. If you might as well use it, right? Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up, Super.
Beautiful. So you're a very kind DM just to be like, oh, here's 1 free inspiration.
Yeah, man. Like I don't do it out of kindness, but out of laziness. Really, I don't think that inspiration works as a mechanic because it goes to, first of all, whoever's a good role player. And honestly, I don't really know. Like, everyone's a good role player in these games usually in the Arctic Circle. And second of all, it tends to reward loud people. You know, whoever's already got the spotlight is more likely to get the inspiration. And I don't think that's fair. So I just give it to everyone, and with the caveat that you can only use it for yourself. Yeah. So thank you for that. All right, so 25 damage, halved down to 12 necrotic energy. Kage, you are dying, and this will probably be where your bones lie forevermore.
Evermore.
Forevermore. Eat my shorts. Amon.
Right, well, seeing all this go down, I'm going to move my paltry 25 feet. So I'm just behind Holman. And how far is she? She's 45 feet. Makes sense. I'll cast Sacred Flame.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. Where are we?
I'll take one holy weapon, please.
Right? That'd be useful right now. But she's too quick, and she hides herself underneath the pillars of the statue, and the radiant energy seems to cleanse the statue, rooting off the grime and the gunk and the lichens, the black soot. But she remains protected from your cleansing force.
Right. 1 second. I guess I always get this wrong. Can I cast a spell with a bonus action now? Because that was just a cantrip.
Yeah, that's right, because that was a cantrip, so yes, you can.
Spiritual weapon. Throw it out there.
All right.
I'll drag it in a sec. That's the end of the turn.
Yeah,
it can attack, I suppose. So I'll make it attack.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can attack. Yeah, that's right. On the round it gets.
Where are you?
But she is quick and evidently skilled at arms, and she blocks it with her shadow shield with ease.
Oh, this bitch. That's in my turn.
All right. So we may have bitten off more than we can chew, taking on a spirit of death in her own lair.
Let's start with Pika. We can get within 15 feet from last round, seeing she hasn't moved.
Yeah. Love it.
And then it will blow acid, I think. I think he'll take the Black Dragon's breath. So acid, yeah.
Excellent.
And we will 11 DC 15.
Jesus Christ.
But she is far too fast.
Fucking Tamora.
And right, the luck is with her. And as the acid eats away at the paneling behind her, it's only the negative energy that prevents the whole thing from just falling down upon us as the walls themselves are consumed in your acid. Thank you for bringing entropy to my temple, she says.
Well, eat some magic missiles.
And that shuts her up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing it out.
So, Tormund, do you remember how far away you were?
45.
That's what I
ran
thought.
50. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I thought. So if you run into her, like Kage, you will be entering into the aura of death that emanates from her very being.
What about this guy?
Indeed. Poor old this fella. Was he within 5 feet, then he dies.
But no, he's 15 feet away.
15
he just get into range to get his 15-foot cone off.
It's a 30-foot range.
Yeah, cool.
Her ability.
Yeah, that's cool. Her ability is, let's check it out.
30.
30. It's 30 foot, so he takes 5 necrotic damage.
Oh, I'm gonna guess that's not good for old Pekka there.
Probably not.
It's expensive. That's what it is.
Indeed.
That's all right. I mean,
so Kage, you're the only one still in her entropy.
Yeah.
Okay, just double checking, sir.
All right. So, Tormund, you are 45 feet away.
I'm going to use my action to dash. I will kind of like slide around, like him do like a little power slide.
Yes.
And I'm not donning my shield. I have my hammer out, two-handed, and I will whack the shit out of her.
Brilliant. All right. She will force the re-roll on the second one.
Is it still at advantage, or should I just roll it once?
Is it already at advantage? Yeah, of course it's at
Yeah,
advantage.
'cause she-
Yeah. So just re-roll the first one or whichever. And a 15 will not quite hit. Her armor class is 17. She gets a +2 against ranged attacks because she's protected by the statue. And so Bashaba's luck grips you. You were ever so close, but at least you struck her once with a definitive power.
13.
Okay. We are gradually weakening her, but her hold on this place is strong, and she will not relinquish it easy. And of course, when the turn ends, you too are consumed by the negative energy. 5 points of necrotic damage. Adriel, you are as safe as anyone can be in this encounter.
But he feels horrendous inside of the corruption, and he's chanting away and holding his focus and conjuring balls of fire to destroy this evil spirit.
Brilliant.
Scorching ray.
Evil or just misunderstood?
Now, was
you have advantage
in fairy fire and therefore at advantage?
Exactly. That's right.
Each ray.
Each ray. Yeah. I'll do a second for that.
Yeah.
I'll put the rest on advantage.
Yeah, sounds good. So you almost strike Kage in the back of the head, but instead you burn.
Oh, there we go.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
First one misses, second one hits, I'm guessing.
Third one
They're all at
precision,
advantage, by the way.
That's right. So the first, so the 27 and a 21 both hit. 15, 19. Aye!
Run, you evil spirit.
Come closer, that I may feed on your life force. Rivenus, if you get much closer, you will be within her aura of death.
Definitely not going to do that. Rivenus's eyes go bluish purple again as he begins to feel the magic within him. He is going to cast Healing Word at Kage.
Yes.
That's hot.
So go ahead and take plus. I think it goes plus my charisma, so it should be 9 healing Kage.
It's already factored in.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. And then I will expend my last 2 sorcery points.
Very good.
And I'm going to Sacred Flame.
You don't need to spend the sorcery points. Sacred Healing Word's a bonus action.
But it's
No, it's a cantrip.
Yeah, so you could cast the cantrip and the healing word at the same time, no problem.
Yeah, you can cast a cantrip in a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's what Quicken spell does. It lets you do.
No.
Quicken's for if you.
That's if you want to cast the spell with an action.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. So you can cast healing word all day long and a cantrip all day long.
Oh, okay. So then I won't do that.
Action.
Yeah, I won't expel the spell slots. Thank you. And I will I'll put those back up there real quick. And so Sacred Flame.
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't see that. I thought it was 1 and 1. My bad.
Yeah, no, good. So this works out in your advantage, so that's good. Yeah. All right, so you heal Kage, and he so desperately needs it. And
the thing last time as well, didn't you, Rivenus? Like you might have done the same last round. Check what spells you cast.
Yeah, you did it last round.
Fairy Fire.
Fairy Fire is not a reaction. I think it's 1 action.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I can double check right now, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah,
it's an action. Yeah.
I just didn't realize Healing Word is a bonus action. That's pretty dope. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Very good. Now, again, the Sacred Flame seems to be burning her with more fervor than you expect, or perhaps you do expect it at this time. Though perhaps it comes as no surprise at all to learn that radiant energy is the enemy of negative energy.
I've killed skeletons and spirits before.
Brilliant. And you remain 45 feet away or something, Rivenus?
He's exactly. Let me snap center. See that? Yeah, I'm 58 feet away.
Yeah, cool. No worries. And Kage, she looks at you, and as she does, her face begins to melt. The skin, which is of course shadow anyway, falls away, revealing the bone, but her eyes stay bright purple. Look into my eyes, she said.
Shit.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm horrible at math, right? So if I move away 25 feet, am I outside of her 30 feet or no? Am I just stupid?
No, you'll be at the limit. You'll be at the 30-foot limit.
Okay.
Yeah, if yours, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just stupid.
Right.
Anyways,
so you meet her gaze, right? Because to do otherwise would mean to close your eyes, basically.
hold on. Do I have to see her with fairy fire? Yeah, you can see it. Okay.
Yeah. It won't give you advantage if you can't see them. That's it's not a homing missile. It's a visual aid.
Do I have? You don't look at people's eyes when you fight them. You look at their body.
No, you don't. But the rules are you're either looking or you're not.
Sure, I fuck it. Someone has to figure out what it does.
Someone has to figure out what it does, and you die.
Jesus.
Make a Constitution saving.
19. Fuck, suck it.
All right.
Suck it.
Otherwise, the creature takes on a failed save. So as long as you don't fail, I don't think there's any effect. As long as you pass. So that's what it says, right? You can force it. The saving throw fails by X, then you're fucked. If it fails normally, then you're hurt. So yeah, as long as you pass, there is absolutely no effect. Okay, your turn.
Wow.
Jeez,
all right.
Cheers,
Suck
cool,
it. That pissed me off. So going to swing.
Oh, actually, I was gonna force you to re-roll, but she's already used the forced re-roll. No.
Okay.
Curses.
First attack.
Brilliant, that hits.
All right. I'm going to need a con save, my friend.
Okay. You are stunning the
kicks her in
dead.
her balls.
Right.
And what is my? It's whatchamacallit? DC 14.
DC 14, but Trimora's luck is with her.
Wait, I just realized that it was advantage, so I'm going to try to crit it.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, fish for the crit, sure. Tomorrow is with you.
I'm gonna try to do this.
You were very swingy today.
So that's at. I'm just gonna. I don't want to get rid of that 8 since I already rolled that damage. Can I just roll a random D8?
Yeah, sure. Like normally I'd say no, but yeah, whatever.
So that's 13 damage.
Okay.
And then my extra attack.
Oh,
crits again.
Holy shit.
All right.
Let's try to stun again.
I'm sharp at Tamora, baby.
Exactly. You can see Tamora looking down on her going, it's time to be cleansed. It's time to come home. I have sent some people to deliver you.
Goodness, look at that. Chop.
So there's that. And I'm going to need another con save.
All right. And this time, she has no answer.
And I'm going to proceed to spend another key point to do Flurry of Blows. So yeah.
FYI, Tolman and Rivenus, this is when the Minotaur died.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm a little confused though. You don't have an advantage on the con save. You should have missed it though.
What do you mean?
You rolled the 5 initially. It's a 521.
She
That's
rolled
her.
the 5, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I looked at it wrong.
So does
No, it's good that you're querying. Like, well, it's good when people challenge it. You know, we try to play as fair by the rules as we can. So if you pick up something that looks wrong, by all means, bring it up.
Yeah. Does a 17 hit?
17 is barely the right number. Tamura is with you.
Okay. That's... Aw. So that's 10... 17... 27...
Fucking shit up.
27?
40 damage in that turn.
Holy shit.
And I'm
so
going
she's
to
losing her grip. Yep.
then proceed. Because I'm mobile, I can run away.
All right, and get out of the aura?
Yep.
Okay, you are not subjected to the aura of annihilation.
I'm going to keep my back to her.
So what are the rules on stun? She can't take actions?
I'll go ahead and quote it for you.
Because I'm very confident it won't get rid of her aura, for one thing, but will it get rid of, like, her reactions, for example?
The stun condition.
The stun condition. I think stun condition gets rid of reactions, I'm pretty sure.
I'm about to look it up.
Very good.
It's incapacitated, can't move. Automatically fails strength and dex saves, and attacks are at advantage.
So, so nothing about losing reactions?
No actions or reactions.
No actions or reactions?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, it can't move, so I guess for a reaction requires movement.
Oh, so is incapacitated no actions or reactions?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we need to see both of them. Yeah, no worries. Okay, so no actions, no reactions, but she still has her aura up. All right, and the death gaze is still functioning, but Amon, you're not within 30 feet, so it's your go.
Move. I'm going to move within 30 feet.
Very good.
How far is that? So 18 feet-ish. So I'm somewhere there. I'm just going to scream, "A minotaur commands you to leave." And we'll go ahead and use Channel Divinity.
Brilliant.
Right into the dawn. So it's 2d10 plus 5.
And she is destroyed.
And all the windows that were boarded, all the doors boarded, everything blasts off and just floods with light, sunlight.
Magnificent. The temple is cleansed. We catch our breath. We wonder if that's really the end. It seems silent. The sun is shining in. We can hear the birds outside. And while we dare to think it might be over, Amon, you feel a weight in your front coat pocket. What could it be?
I guess I'll reach in and find out what it is.
You have the coin of fate and fortune.
Oh. Worth 8,000. Holy fuck. Oh, this is so good.
And we shall leave it there for the week. Welcome back, Elliot. Great to have you along, Troy.
Yeah.
Hope that you all come back next week. And welcome to the campaign.
Yes, this is perfect for me. Thank you, Archie.
This is actually perfect for a cleric, isn't it?
Yeah. Goodbye,
So,
internet.
group,